Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? This is Real Talk with Real DJs. I'm your host, DJ Pacman. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. We have a very special guest today, but before we get started with our show, we're going to go ahead and do our shout outs for our sponsors. They are the ones that make the show possible every week, so we got to give them a big thank you, big thank you to Orbit Event Rentals. That's orbiteventrentals.com. They help us basically host the event here. This is their location. We're live from their location, and they let us use this space. So big thank you to orbiteventrentals.com. If you need canopies, linens, tables, chairs, anything you need for your party to make it a success, hit up orbiteventrentals.com and please let them know that I sent you. Up next, we do have Montlake Construction. That's montlakeconstruction.com. If you need a remodel, if you need bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, home renovation, hit up montlakeconstruction.com. They'll take care of you. Up next, we do have a new sponsor, so I want to say a big shout out to a Freedom Roofing Company. That's freedomroofingcompany.com. Big thank you to them. I want to say that they do all of your roofs, whether it's commercial, residential, industrial. If you have a need for roofing, they will take care of you at freedomroofing.com. freedomroofingcompany.com. Last but not least, we have the Empress LA. That's the empressla.com. Whether you need aesthetics, you need tattoo removals, laser hair removal, you need fillers, you need hair restoration, whatever it is to bring out that beauty inside of you that's already in you and you want to bring it forward, they'll take care of you at the empressla.com. And as always, please let everybody know that I sent you, because if they sponsor the show, that means we are doing good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have our guest for today. We have Mr. Big Surgz.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for having me on the show today.
Bro, I'm so glad you're here, man. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. So,
appreciate it.
What we're gonna start the show with, and you tell me if you're down, man. I gotta ask. So we have this lovely vodka here, and I want to see. We usually do a tequila challenge, but this time we're gonna do two challenges. We're gonna do a vodka challenge, and basically the challenge is you got to take a shot of vodka without making a face.
Well, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I mean, hey, yo, Neff Vodka, that's one of my favorite ones right now, so shout out to Neff Vodka. How'd you know? But anyways, yes, I'm down. Yeah, of course.
All right, let's do it. I'm gonna serve it up. And
awesome.
Actually, you know what? If you don't mind serving it, just because you probably know the bottle better.
No, I really like this barrel thing that they do. What's really cool is that, like, on a hot summer day, it actually stays cool. So me, that I'm always on the road, I love that concept. So once again, shout out to my friends Enrique and Dylan out there. They're doing some movies out there, but it's crazy you even have this here. So awesome.
Hey, for sure, man. Yeah. So Neff Vodka, I'm so excited for it. Let's go ahead and give it a try. So the whole deal.
Hey, it's Don Dirty. I love Don Dirty. Hey, shout out to Don Dirty. What's up, brother? All right.
The whole deal is to drink this vodka without making a face.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Cheers. Cheers to you. I feel like this cheek moved a little bit, but we'll see. We'll
have to find out right now. Let us know. I'm curious.
That's good vodka, though. That's good vodka, bro. I'm gonna have to ask you if you can move your chair back to where it was, just because it was set up.
There we go.
A little bit more this way.
This way, my bad.
Yeah, no, all good. Just want to make sure we get the takes. We get the takes.
Of course.
For the TikTok.
There you go.
So yeah, man, we met the first time we met was at Perreologia.
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that was with Space Monkey.
Yeah. I remember that. Was that the event where Chan played and then it was raining and because that was my actual birthday. It was March 30th.
That was your birthday. I remember.
Yeah,
I
remember that.
That was Chan. Chan was there.
Yeah, no, it was. I know that you and me were just talking back and forth. Obviously, didn't have a name to the face because I would just see the Space Monkey logo. But
yeah,
Chan. I said shout out to Chan. He's a really great guy, really great producer, and he's really rare to play, especially in LA. He just got a new album and it just came out, and he's not even playing in LA just yet. I'm like, what the heck? But you guys got him into LA, and then it just so happened that it fell on my birthday. I'm like, heck yeah, I don't have to go to Vegas and party while I can just stay home and make sure I'm home safely and in a timely manner. So it was cool. It was crazy because it was raining. It was raining that day, and we ended up getting like a waterfall in the middle of the dance floor. But it was a different experience. It was super cool.
So I gotta say, I gotta talk about that because I feel like the waterfall in most other parties and most other occasions, it would have stopped the party, I feel, right? But like people were vibing.
It was crazy, you
People
know.
were vibing. Like they wanted more, you know. It was
Yeah, where was it? It was
at Melrose House.
Melrose House. See, I didn't even know that was the Melrose House. I told myself like I've never been there, but now I guess I've been to the Melrose House. So it's crazy.
Yeah, big shout out to Santi that he let us put that on. So
what's up? Okay, what's up, Santi? Yeah, and it was super cool just because of the fact that you're right. Like production and everything. You guys did really amazing. You guys were great hospitality, which you didn't have to. But regardless, if the vibe was just there, I remember Lechero showed up, which was kind of cool, and he got on the mic. You had Chan, you had Don. Don was killing it that day. And then it just started raining like at 11:30 so hard where there was like a little waterfall right in the middle, and then like these girls were vibing like like it's some kind of strip club like with the music. So I'm like, okay, cool. But it was crazy. I gotta find that video. It's somewhere on my Instagram still.
100%. We actually still post content for that because it was such a vibe. It was really cool.
I love it.
Yeah. So all right, we met there. We started talking. You told me you did management. You're like, oh, I work with artists and whatnot. So, and then little by little. Actually, I didn't hear from you until Cast.
Yes,
right?
DJ Cast, yes.
Yeah, big shout out to Cast. So he introduced us. He's all like, hey, I know this guy. He works with artists. You work with artists. Like, you guys should link up. And yeah, man, I think it's been a cool story ever since. And we've been able to, start this collab thing that we're doing. Yeah. But I want to know, man, like, where did it all start for you? Like, where was the beginning of music for you? Because I know you've mentioned to me that you're not a promoter.
Right.
You're not a promoter, so
very big on that, yeah.
for sure. Yeah. So where did it all start? Where was the beginning of the journey for Big Surgz?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll start off like this is the first time that anyone's gonna get this on recording, right? Because I'm very private, so you guys are very fortunate enough, whoever's watching this, to get to know the real me, right? I think there's definitely always like Big Surgz, right? Because when we're in the industry where you have to have like a different type of, name and brand, etc., just to keep, personal and business separate, but you get to hear a little bit more about, what a friend says, like Sergio, right? Sergio, like not that many people get to know about that. So, yeah, man, like it really started back in, when I was in high school, when I was born, right? I was born into a Christian family. So, I was raised where like, hey, you can't listen to like what my mom would say, música mundana, like, it's bad, like they talk about sex, drugs, all that good stuff. And just naturally, right, as being my mom, like I believe that, right? So, then you started hearing like the hip hop eras, like I got an FM radio, got to hear Power 106, things like that. But still, like it would be like, lower it before you go to sleep because you don't want moms to hear, But realistically, like what I was always into was technology. So, I grew up in the suburbs, and I'm grateful for that because my parents have always worked hard. They both immigrated from Mexico. They did their citizenships and everything, and they worked hard every single day up until this day. And it bothers me that they still work, but and realistically, they made sure that me and my younger sister, she's 5 years younger than me, we had a roof over our heads, right? They wanted to make sure that we each had our own room. So my mom would work at nighttime, overnights, to make sure that we got to school on time, and also like we were there when we got off of school, and then my dad would work during the day. So with that being said, like what I would do a lot was just really focus on technology. Like got a computer, and finally got into like Windows 98, and then there was apps like, was it Winamp back then? You had the cool little visuals and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was like, okay,
throwback.
Cool. Yeah. So I just, did that. And then the LimeWire age, like I was the guy in actually middle school, like, hey, bro, can you burn me a CD? Like, I got you. You might have DJ Clue in the back yelling, DJ Clue, all that stuff. But, it was still free music, right? So, that's when I really got into it. And then Once I got into high school, I really got into obviously a different type of, individuals, right? So like I said, I was raised in the suburbs in Ventura County, and unfortunately, like I was raised in somewhere where it was very, very racial. Unfortunately, like even until like middle school, there was maybe 10, 15 families that were Hispanic where I was raised, and maybe one or two black families. So what's been going on, even recently where I live right now, it sounds like a brand new chapter again, because there's some stuff that you may or may have not seen online recently about the town I live in, and it's the same concept, right? But even though there's so many color, now where I live currently. But anywho, yeah, I wanted to focus on technology because I knew that so many things were out there. I was really getting into the music, the CD burnings and stuff like that. And I even started mixing in middle school in eighth grade. I remember.
Yeah.
I would pull out my old school DJ controller, and then I even asked like the office, like, hey, can I spin at the little amphitheater thing during lunchtime? Like, yeah, sure, as long as you don't play anything like that's vulgar or anything like that. So I guess that was kind of like the start of it, because I actually used to DJ, not like in clubs and stuff like that, because once again it was frowned upon, but especially during high school. When MySpace was big, you'd make your little HTMLs and all that stuff for the pages.
Yeah.
I would actually go live Fridays and Saturdays, and I would usually do either 10 to 12 or 10 to 2, depending on how the vibe was. But back then it was more of like, hey, like comment on this post, like what song you want to hear, and all that stuff. So it wasn't really more of like mixing like these day and age. It was more of just like playing the songs that people wanted, and I really always was on the mic. I don't know what, I've always been a mic person.
Sure.
But I never got into emceeing because that's not my style.
Okay.
But that's where it really started. A funny thing is at that time I had a friend of mine. I'm like, I don't know what to call myself, right? Because you need to have a DJ name. And at that time he came up, it was a little cholo homie. He goes, hey vato, like let's call you Little Mixer ese. I'm like, all right, cool, why not? So then at that time my DJ name was Ese Little Mixer with 3 X's.
Yeah.
Just to be different. And I rode that through high school.
You say it on the mic, would you use a cholo voice?
Not cholo voice, but I've always like low key like changed my voice for anything like that. Even today, like when I'm in the venues, with my artists, I'm very hands on.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen me in the venues, like I make sure that I get the crowd going. Like everybody on my roster knows that they have to be interactive with the fans and people that are gonna become fans that night. But just in case, at the end of the day, these guys are artists. They consider themselves DJs. I'm like, no, you're an artist because you're a producer. You're gonna create an experience, and that's what we're all about. But that's why, like, even if like they're so busy, working on their craft, I'll jump on the mic just because I want to make sure that everyone's having a good time and the venue is happy, right? That we're making the money. But yeah, that's where that started. And then you may think of like, hey, where Big Surgz came in as far as the name.
How to go from Ese Little Mixer to Big Surgz.
Yeah. So realistically, man, like at one point in my life, maybe 7-8 years ago, I was 450 pounds, man, and I was a big guy, and I just didn't care, and it wasn't like I didn't care as far as like my health or anything. It's just like I didn't feel like I was big, like besides like changing my shirts, that was it. But I was a pretty big guy, and then just really like networking and stuff like that, which we could talk about a little bit later. That name came up as like, hey man, like I'm gonna call you Big Sergio. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, but that's not unique, So then I thought about, even though like I've never really drank this soda, I'm like, well, what's unique where no one's really using it? And I'm like, oh, like, do you remember like that soda Surge? Yeah, with like that green soda. I'm like, well that soda doesn't exist anymore. I'm like, Sergio, let's do that, And instead of most people usually like that don't know me put like SERG.
Yeah.
I add the Z purposely to be different. So
for sure,
that's where that came in. But worked on my weight loss. 2019 up to where we are now, and I've had my struggles, right? Ups and downs and stuff like that. But now as of today, as of this recording, I'm 295. So it's a big accomplishment for me. So
Congrats, man.
yeah,
Okay.
some people are like, oh, you got to become Little Surge. I'm like, no, like you got to keep the original name.
That name's gonna stick.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
It's not gonna go anywhere, and I like that. You know, I feel like it tells a story. You know,
Exactly.
so, yeah, for sure, for sure. Did you do that for your kids? Was that like a something that was like, oh, like you know, I'm a father. I need to take care of my health. I gotta, you know, take the step or.
Honestly, that's a big one for me. The answer I'm going to say is yes, 100%. You know, because I do have children, you know, I love them to death. And, you know, one of my biggest things is that, like, you know, I want to be able to, you know, one day be able to walk them down the aisle, whether it's, you know, my daughter or my son, and just make sure that I'm there to, like, that next chapter in life is very important for me, number one. Number two, on the personal side, like I mentioned, I didn't really care. But there was this one time that a mentor of mine, you know, he's a worldwide DJ. Even though that he was kidding around, you know, I wanted to go up on the stage where, you know, it's a big stage, you know, but at the end of the day, right, it's all about perception, right? Like, why would you want this big Mexican guy behind this worldwide DJ? And then he's like, hey, you can't come up, bro, because you're too big, bro. I'm like, you know, like for me, like low key, that kind of like gave me a culture shock because he's never said that to me.
Yeah.
And even though he told me later on, like, you know, oh, bro, I was just kidding, you know, I'm like, it still hit me hard because I'm like, damn, like, it's true though, because we work in an industry where it's all about perception, whether it's like that sexy scene or like, you know, do you have so many girls behind you in the booth? It's realistically, I hate to say it, but sex sells, like especially in this music industry.
Looks matter, man.
It does, you know, and I ain't cute, you know. So, but at the end of the day, like that's why I try to stay out of the side. But you know, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I gotta make sure that overall production is really big for me, you know, when it comes to that aspect.
No, I get that. I 100% get that. So let me ask you this question, and it might be a little personal, but I hope, you know, it's enough where we could talk about it. But and the reason I'm bringing it up is because I would say I'm, you know, pretty aligned with my faith. You know,
Yeah.
How'd you finally, you know, go past that? Like, I'm gonna work in this industry, ignoring what your mom said or your dad, or you know, like how'd you finally make the jump into saying like, oh, it's okay to do this, and I'm assuming you still hold on to your faith and do both.
Yeah, no, great question, and that's the beauty about this podcast, right? It's you could ask those personal questions. So, realistically, for me, it was more of like I think I should go back to the story, I guess, on why I got into the industry, right? So you had the conversation of like what got me into music, but it was really more about what got me into the industry. So if it's okay with you, I'll share that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, realistically, so once again, because I was raised in the Christian world, I never got to party, you know, never went to go out to drink. Like, I had my first smear of ice at 21. Like, and I thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm drunk. You know, it was crazy.
That one shot, like, that's it.
Exactly. So, I wasn't raised the Mexican way, like, where most parents, like, oh, get this kid a tequila shot at 14.
Yeah.
Never was that. Even though my dad at the time, you know, he wasn't Christian, like, he was a drinker, but he just still respected that, you know.
Okay.
Like, so he respected my mom, which, you know, to this day now, he's very Christian as well. But just realistically, like, never did any of that drinking or anything, but there was this one time that I went out to a concert. I think it was Wango Tango when my son was in the belly, and it was crazy because we went to go see other artists at Wango Tango. I think it was at the Nokia Theater back in the day, and they Afrojack went on specifically, and I'm like, oh cool, like this is some cool music. I've never heard EDM. Once a year I would go to my dad's town in Jalisco, and they had the fiestas every August, and then I would hear music that was like more Latin EDM, not the new Latin EDM like Chan or Ray Dioro, but like straight up like just their own version of EDM. And that's the only time I would ever hear it, because even when I would look up on LimeWire and stuff, like you couldn't find it. I would just get another virus after another, at that point. But yeah, so when it came to that aspect, like I got to hear, obviously at that time, Take Over Control, Rock the House, like all these songs that I never heard before. I'm like, hey, this is some cool music, because the people I would hang out with, they would listen to a lot of like MC Magic, Little Rob, then we'd go to the hip hop side.
Wow.
Yeah, so like it was new music to me, but I'm like, this music feels good, and like for me, still to this day, I could confidently say, and I don't judge anybody, like I don't do drugs, I don't do any of that stuff. If anything, I drink occasionally, not even socially, and it's more for realistically entertainment, right? Because at the end of the day, like I can't be a prune in the club when I'm telling my DJs like, hey, you need to instigate drinks because this is why they're paying us, is for us to create that revenue.
Get people to drink. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's when they make their money, because this day and age, these clubs can't even charge cover these days for the most part.
Right.
So so for me it was all about that specifically, and so like I said, like that music and all that good stuff, and then my son was finally born. Super excited about that. And a crazy quick story is like my son at the time, he would always calm down to the song "Rock the House" from Afrojack. So literally, I would put that on my Samsung Android at the time, and he'd be crying and crying for some reason. Maybe he's hungry, maybe went to the bathroom, and I would play that song, just that tone, and he would just calm down. Like, damn, like that's the real power of music.
Yeah.
So one time, finally, I'm like, I always liked Vegas because, like I said, I was a bigger guy at the time. So, like, hey, I love the buffets back then. It was all like all the buffets, before COVID, and like, hey, pay $50 and you get all the buffets in town. So, I always like to go there. Never really did gambling, but like I did like the slot machines. So like when I was of legal age, I would like to go to Vegas, but it was more once a year. But I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let me look into this stuff. I'm like, oh, what's EDC? What's like all this stuff? And then I'm like, well, let me see where Afrojack plays, And this was during the golden era age, right, of EDM, so 2013.
Yeah.
So I pull that up. He's like, oh, he's going to be playing at Surrender Beach Club, which is now Encore Beach Club at night. Yeah. And then it was EDC weekend, too. So, at the time I went, with a loved one, and then we went to go check it out. Like, actually paid a $45 ticket. So I'm like, okay, I guess, because I didn't know better, right? Yeah. I didn't know about promoters or like free guest lists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I went over there, and like I fell in love, like with the music, the bass, like. I didn't even know about like covering your ears. Like, I would leave with like ringing ears at that time. That's why I'm like half deaf now. But it was super cool because like, got to hear like his music there, and at that time like like what's that one song from Alesso, and I can't think of it. Lose Yourself, Greyhound, like all those songs were big then. So like those like the indie music, and then like at that time Afro was young just like me. I think he's like a year or 2 years older than me. His birthday is like in a couple weeks, and he jumps in the pool. Like the pool's closed, like it's not a pooled night. He jumps in the pool, like he's fucked up. Like back then, like they would all drink Grey Goose. Grey Goose was the thing.
Vodka was big.
Yeah, especially because they're all Dutch. Like all those guys are Dutch, so that's their natural water. And I just fell in love with that scene. So realistically, like to be honest, I didn't even know that there was like clubs out here as far as like I don't even know if Avalon existed, but like now like Avalon, Academy, Exchange. What else is out there? Melrose, Los Globos, like all those things now. Right. Catch One. I didn't know those things existed. So me naturally, I was just finding a reason to go out there and catch every Afrojack show. And because at that time, it was the golden era age, and he dropped at that time Forget the World album.
Okay. He
was playing like 5 or 6 times a month. So literally, me as a responsible father, what I would do is literally I would, make sure my son was asleep, I helped out, to make sure he was asleep. And then what I would do is that I would go catch the either 9:30 or 10:30 flight out of LAX or Burbank. And then I would get to, like 11:30, I would get to Vegas. Usually would go straight to either Caesar's Palace or MGM, because he would play either Hakkasan or Omnia at the time. And literally have a couple drinks with some friends. He's had a fan following called the A-Team, which was they're really cool peeps. Yeah. And we would go in the club, and I said back then it was just a genuine like being a fan, because at that time then I found out about guest lists and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, cool, like we have to be there by 12:30, or else we're gonna have to pay a $50 ticket. Right. Especially back then, before they got sued and stuff, right? Like males would have to pay so much more, and females would be either free or like $5, $10.
Yeah.
So
Which is illegal.
Now it is, yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's a different world these
It
days.
was always illegal.
Yeah, I hear you. So, and these were brand new clubs, so because we were such fans, like we would like get there early, obviously 12:30 is early for a club in Vegas, and then we would just like literally line up at the very, very front. Like, me and my friends which were the A team, like, they had their own clique before me. I just kind of, gravitated into them. And at first, like, they pushed me away because, like, who the hell's this guy? Like, he's just another fan that's trying to say, like, they're an Afrojack fan. It took a while for them to, what I feel accepted me.
Yeah.
But realistically, like, Afro specifically, he's always been like, like, who's the real ones? Like, who's this and that? And, if you go back into my Instagram or shoot my Snapchat, like, there's videos of, like, literally almost, like, every set, like, Afro would, like, give us the Grey Goose bottle because he knew we were there from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to have the best view of the house. And we're not going to move. We're not going to go pee. We're not going to drink. So he literally gives us the bottle while we see every time the security coming, because it's a hazard, right? It's glass. They don't want someone to get hit in the head.
Right.
And we're just chucking the bottles, like, 23, 24, 25-year-olds chucking the bottles like we're spending $2,000 on a bottle service in Vegas. But it was just those good memories. But literally, like, after that, on average, he would finish his set at 3, and he would always, like, take the time to say hi to us outside the club, take a selfie. Like, I have hundreds of selfies of me and Afro. Like I said, he is a very humble individual. And then catch the 5:30 flight home to be back in Burbank or LAX by latest 8 a.m. and wouldn't sleep. Like, I would literally go to work, my regular job in the wireless industry at the time.
That's a young man's game, bro.
It is. It is.
Would you do that? Do you still do that? You basically
Sometimes I pick my battles just because, it's for me, like, when I do go out these days, it's either going to be for as an investment for the brand of that I have to follow, or I'm going to go shake hands at a certain venue. But when it goes to Vegas, like, it's more shaking hands than anything, or keeping that relationship, because of the fact that if these promoters, owners, club people, VIP hosts don't see you, you get forgotten. At that point, you can't ask for a favor when you really want to hook up someone. Like, if you told me, hey man, I want to go to this club, can you hook me up with free admission or a free table? The answer is, like, I've done my due diligence over the past decade where, like, yeah, I could ask for that favor.
Yeah.
Because it's for the right reasons. But if I don't show up, realistically, they just forgive and forget, especially with this music changing.
No, of course. I think the industry's changing a lot, right? I hear a lot about, like, clubs not even being able to sustain their venue just alone on the DJ fees, right? Like, just things are changing now.
Yeah, I saw a podcast recently with I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a scam artist thing, and I could be wrong, but I do know DJ Exile was talking about it with someone. Shout out to him. He's out there. He runs a lot of the Latin stuff out there. But they were talking about, like, how, back in the day, like, these DJs could charge 500, 600K a night during that era, and these guys were, almost billionaires at the time.
Yeah.
This day and age, even a big DJ like that, they're lucky if they get 50, 100, 150K, which is still a lot in my eyes.
Right.
But, that's why still people will pay, 3, 4, 5 grand for a table.
Right.
But at the end of the day, these younger individuals, like, I'm 36, I'm getting old. But these younger individuals don't even care about table service. Like, it's more about, like, the experience, or, like, this whole vibe of, like, doing coffee, right? Like these cafetons and things like that, which is cool. I love it.
They're there for the vibe. They're not there for the, sometimes they're not there for the alcohol no more. Like,
it's true. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm 40 years old, and I can tell you right now that, like, every time I go anywhere, it has to be VIP. I'm not.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm not gonna be part of the general public. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's not for me. Like, you go do you go have fun, but.
That's how I am too, to be honest with you, especially with, like, Vegas, or, like, some of you always see me either, like, at Ultra or EDC or anything like that. And it's not about me being conceited. It's not about me feeling that I'm entitled. It's just realistically, I put in my work as a fan overall. to be able to sit there and earn the right. You know,
Yeah.
like there was a time where I told Afro or like other worldwide DJs that I'm friends with, like, hey bro, like honestly, like I just want to enjoy your set. You know, like I've done the, in front of the thing, being there early, being there late. Like I just want to be able to show up with you or like 10 minutes before and like enjoy your set and go home or go do my other thing. That's why like I love day parties. Like if I'm actually like enjoying like for me, for my pleasure, it's always going to be a day party. Number one, obviously, right, I'm not losing my sleep. Like I actually like my sleep. But number two is like a day party is a different vibe, and unfortunately, like there's nothing out here. I mean, I know, I guess before my time as a management company, there used to be different stuff in Hollywood and things like that, and then out here specifically in LA, there wasn't anything. When I started my business recently, I told myself like, hey, like once again, I'm not a promoter, like I don't want to do any of that stuff, but if I want to have fun and do my own thing, like why not create your own thing? So that's where the whole concept of my House y Calor brand came from, the umbrella. And shout out to Cast and Wendy. They're part of my team. Although Cass is my artist, but he's honestly put in a lot of work to make like our first House y Calor Fest, which was a big thing back in June, happen. And then I do these spin-offs where these venues pay me now for me to come out and decorate with my team and do a day party that they're not used to. Why? Because I have that experience of all the pool parties I've been to in Vegas and stuff like that. Yeah. And I bring that, and then luckily, that has sparked interest this year from other people in the industry, especially here in Los Angeles. Yeah. And honestly, like I don't consider them competition because once again, I'm not a promoter. So if anything, I love the option of having options. Yeah. Like, I know like DJ Peso, like he's doing a lot of stuff right now. Shout out to him. He's super cool guy. And he's playing everywhere right now on top of that, but also like he was doing his own day party thing, that started. And then, I know the guys from like Beatport, Edwin and all them are doing like the W, now all of a sudden there's all these like rooftop parties, like, for day parties. So
everyone's trying to come up with a new gimmick, right?
Exactly.
Like what's going to be next?
Exactly.
Like you said, the cafeton thing, like, okay, like the cumbia night.
Yeah, I saw that. The cumbia night is crazy, but it's good because, I mean, realistically, like this day and age, like, yes, EDM is important. Like I love EDM too and all that good stuff, but specifically in LA, like there's a reason why, like, we are blessed that we have a lot of like, technically worldwide DJs that live here. Yeah. Like we have, let's say Dioro, like he lives, a little bit south from here, or like other individuals, but they don't play here much because they can't. Right, it's like not only all these radius clauses, but they gotta have a value to play in a hometown. Yeah. Because when they do play, like it's very like genuine. Like all their family come out, and that's one thing I love about that side of the industry. But realistically, it's like there's so much opportunity because on the Latin side, you're used to just going to a club, whether it's like I don't know, I'm just thinking like El Patron or like. You go to Elevate or Las Citas, and I'm just specifically thinking downtown or West 8 or the Reserve, and that's you just go hopping, but that's it. But that's where we come in play specifically. Like I said, not talking bad about any of the DJs or anything, but like a lot of times you have those resident DJs, and then people get bored. Not because they're bored of the DJ, but they're like, oh, like let's say DJ Pac-Man's gonna be there every Friday, like. We could skip him this week and we could go to Downey or something like that.
I could catch him again next week.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to lose anything. Right. But that's where I've been changing and honestly been disrupting. Like, I could confidently say disrupting the LA scene specifically, where it's like, no, on the EDM side, it's really big about promoting, like, a month in advance, 2 months in advance. When you think of the Latin side, you don't even know that a specific DJ is going to be there until the week of. Yeah. And I just still don't get it where especially because on the Latin side there's more promoters than anything that are investing their own money to bring in these DJs or like high end DJs, and like you're only promoting in a week of, like, how are you getting your return of investment? I just don't get it. Right. So I've shaken some feathers. Obviously this year some people like think like, oh, like he's trying to take my promoting spot and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, dude, relax. Like I'm just here to work on content for my DJs. Make them into artists, make sure that they have the opportunity to go nationwide, because at the end of the day, a lot of the times, DJs in their own cities, that's all they stay at. You know, like
Yeah.
I want my DJs to play, you know, in Vegas, you know, go to New York, you know, Miami and stuff like that. And luckily, most of my DJs actually do that already because they have the blessings of having residencies on like Sirius XM and other things like that. And with Mixcloud these days, like everything's more
Yeah.
nationwide or worldwide.
Right.
But I have others that, you know, have stayed local, and that's my goal is to change them.
There's no reason for DJs to not have content nowadays. I think
Yep.
you know I feel like that's a really strong opinion that I hold. And you know, talking about that, what's a piece of advice that you would give DJs to even like, just to start off to join your team? What's something that like DJ? What are things you look at that make a DJ worth your time?
No, I think that's a great question because, like, you know, I don't want to sound cocky whatsoever, but, like, you know, I have my submission form and I have, like, last time I checked as of 2 days, it was, like, you know, 96, 97, like, DJs that, like, they want to talk to my artist liaisons and stuff like that, and, like, to get to know, you know, get to know them and, like, get representation because they see that we're making noise. And, you know, it is a great question, but, you know, when it comes to, like, when it gets to me, I'm, like, the last stage of, like,
Yeah.
you know, am I going to sign you or not? Because I want to make sure that if I'm going to have you on my team, if I'm going to invest my time, not only my personal time, you know, to take away from my kids and my regular, you know, realistically, I do have a regular career right now, right? Because I'm not this big agency like UTA, or I'm not blessed like famous agency, you know, you guys make the big bucks yet, you know. But realistically, it's like I want to make sure like it's worth my time. And but don't get me wrong though, like what my goal is that I love to travel, personal and business. So I like to, or I want to adapt every single individual on my roster where they need a tour manager, and that's where I come and play and my team.
Okay.
But it starts off at the very beginning, you know, to get them there because everyone has to do their due diligence in any genre to be able to get up, and that goes back to the hard work and dedication. But to answer your question, you know, the number one thing is that you have to produce. You have to produce. You have to be able to do original content. You know, obviously, like a lot of my guys right now are very Latin focused. But you know, great example. Like I have two artists. You know, DJ Cast. You know, he's put in the effort specifically. Like, you know, he graduated from, you know, certain places, including Tomorrowland Academy. You know, he's a hustler. Like he's producing music.
He's
like
a go-getter.
he is. He
100%,
is.
yeah.
You know, I've been in the studio with him. I mean, he has another part of our umbrella branch is called Mi Gente Academy. Like, even for me, like this whole thing of collectives and stuff like that, I didn't know anything of that. Like afters or anything, I never got to go to any of those until literally this year, because this was new to me. You know,
Yeah.
like, but like, you know, he created what's called Mi Gente Academy, where like one thing I love about Cass is that he loves to help make people better.
Yeah.
And it's not even about the money, you know, like, you know, he has a lot of individuals that were following him from a previous collective. You know, that didn't work out, unfortunately, but, you know, that's why he created his own. And I respect him for that. And, you know, sometimes, you know, we clash a lot of times because we're both hard-headed. But I love him because, you know, we clash for the right reasons. And that's what helps out a lot is because he wants to help out all those other DJs and producers be the next person, so you could be like, hey, Sergio, you know what? There's this individual that I think, you know, I don't want to say skip the line, but like you should check this person out. Like they're making some noise,
Yeah.
you know, locally at these like the smaller venues and stuff like that. So once again, being a producer, creating your own content is important to me. Being adaptable, that's the biggest one for me because realistically, like everyone wants to play at the Insomniacs, the Ultras, the Tomorrowlands and stuff like that, but it goes back to the basic fundamentals. You need content.
Yeah.
If you don't have content, how the hell do you want me to knock doors for these booking agents, you know, to say, hey, like I want to put this individual to support, you know, someone on the academy stage or, you know, exchange or whatever it might be. It's like you need to have content because this day and age, like it sucks to say, but like you could be the best producer ever, but if you have no content, like you're nothing. Like, you know, I will say this. I mean, there are DJs, luckily, like, I can't think of one in LA, luckily, but there are DJs that, like, you know, on the East Coast, I'm sorry, but they suck, you know, but they do content for days.
Yeah.
But, so respect to
Yeah.
them, right?
That's-
They've invested in TikTok, you know, and some people call them the TikTok DJs or stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
And
hey,
they get booked.
they get booked.
They get
Why?
booked.
Because they're gonna bring those people, and I respect that. You know,
No disrespect to those types of DJs, but I was recently at Universal Studios, and they have this this little block party, and there's a DJ there at Universal Studios with the block party, and the DJ, whoever it was, I'm not naming names.
Yeah.
I'm terrible DJ, horrible
Yeah.
DJ, but he was there.
Trust me when I'm telling you. Like, luckily, one of my artists on my roster, he actually knows the people that books those guys, and I just went with my family. Like, for Universal, like I said, because I live in Ventura County, I love to go even if it's in the afternoon on a weekday. Like, even if we go from like 5 to 7, 5 to 8, like we just go walk around in the theme parks. Is on the personal side, I love theme parks. I've always been that person. But I got to see that for the summer block party. I had 2 DJs, right? One by Jurassic World and then one upstairs.
Yeah.
And respectfully, like, they were just
Terrible. They're
Spotify DJs, you know? It's like, so like I hit up my guy that I knows the guy. He's like, hey bro, we need to get our team there, you know, like let's change that, because like they book these guys from agencies just because like they're agencies, and like, and all respect to you because you own an agency as well, but the difference between I could say for you compared to other agencies I've seen locally, it's like you guys have quality artists.
Oh, we care, bro.
Exactly. You know, and that's the reason why you and me collaborated, and you know, we have some of my artists that are joining the famous agency side.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that, you know, they deserve these like corporate gigs and stuff like that. And it goes back to, you know, what I believe in is quote unquote the experience.
Right.
So I'm trying to change that, you know, and even though I'm not an agency, like I want to create that experience. It's like, hey, like, well, this is my roster, and like, you know, all my DJs except literally one, they're on some type of radio. Like they have their own poll, because I get it. Like you could have, you know, 2 million followers, but when you look at your engagement, like, you know, if you have 101, you know, story views, dude, what does 2 million matter? Like it doesn't matter these days. So that's what's important. But like I said, like, you know, it's a different hustle, right? I think COVID, you know, really helped out people get big, especially on social media. And there are, I will say 100%, like there are really good DJs that the perception was that they were TikTok DJs, but like now they're killing it. Like, you know, and I'm not saying that I'm biased or anything, but like, you know, a good friend of mine, you know, Ray Burger, you know, he got his experience via TikTok, and like all these like virtual like group chat things that they were doing with Insomniac because we were all stuck at home, you know. But realistically, like people like, you know, the homie Chan or Ray Burger, they were considered technically TikTok DJs, but no, they're just producers. They just use the right tools to be able to get where they needed to be.
Yeah, I've just speaking on my own experience with Ray Burger, I feel like he's just such a lovable guy, man. And
I love that guy, man.
He expresses that love through his social media channels,
100%.
You know, which has like led him to get booked. But he's an amazing producer, and I feel like what you said is perfect. Like you have to be a well-rounded person. Like you can't just be nowadays. You can't just be a great DJ and get booked. You have to be a great DJ. You have to be a great producer. You have to be a great content creator, and you have to have pull. And look. And here's the thing: if you want to make it, that's what you need.
Right, I agree.
If you don't, if you want to just be a great DJ, and you don't want to do all these other things, and you're being a diva, and guess what? You're just not gonna make it.
Yeah, and that's what
Bottom
it
line.
is. And you know, and a lot of it is like a lot of these Latin DJs, right? Especially the local guys, they're really great DJs. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, to tell you a quick story, like with DJ Santa Rosa specifically, like he's well respected anywhere, because not only was he growing up in the reggaeton era and all that stuff, being on Latino 96.3, then he went to Mega 93.9.
Yeah.
But now, you know, this guy, like I love the guy because, you know, he has a daily show on SiriusXM nationwide,
Right.
Monday through Friday, and there's other couple people that have that, like Kid Spin, like, you know, and all those guys as well. But like all of their DJs, like they have, if they're lucky, like one set a week on there.
Yeah.
You know, he does some back end stuff as well as the traffic mix at 93.9 right now. I mean, realistically, like I hate to say it, but most people don't listen to music on the FM radio. I don't, to be honest.
No, fair.
But
Yeah, fair.
you know,
Yeah.
I do pull it up. But realistically, am I really driving at 6 o'clock? No. That's why I do love like digital because you could rewind, and unfortunately you can't on FM.
I have a story to tell you, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta start. I've been trying to confess this for a long time. When you invited me to the Copper Door with Santa Rosa, you're lucky I didn't fanboy out.
I hear you.
I'm a big fan, bro. I've been a big fan for such a long time, and it was such an amazing experience to be able to MC with him. And
Yeah, absolutely.
bro,
I'm a big advocate of that, man, because like, you know, I've been in that side where like, you know, it goes back to like my Afrojack era days, right? Where as a fan, right? Like I would still I'm gonna say fangirl it. I don't know how else to say it. Like oh my god, it's Afrojack. It's a worldwide DJ, you know, and like out of hundreds of people in the club, like he's saying F you guys everyone, like this is like the A team, like my day ones or whatever.
Right.
And I wasn't a day one, don't get me wrong, you know, but I've been seeing this since 2013. I've earned I feel I've earned my spot in that as a fan.
Yeah.
But also, you know, I feel like, you know, I call him Big Brother because, you know, him and his team have taught me so much stuff as far as the management side and all that good stuff. Like I've had the luxury of even going out to Amsterdam and Rotterdam and, you know, got to see him play there and things like that. And I would have never been able to do that if it wasn't for his team and like those blessings, because like I don't have that kind of money at that time, you know, to be able to do that. And you know, it's been super cool, you know, and it's been fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's actually pretty crazy. But yeah, 100%. I think you hit it on the spot, man. Like I feel that like there's this like thing that people don't want to do anymore. Like this work they don't want to put in. I feel like people are always trying to skip the line.
100%.
You know, and I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way. Like, you know, and even with TikTok, like I feel like everyone's like looking for the trick, like
The right hashtag.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get the right hashtag. I'm gonna get 100,000 views. I'm like, nah, like you gotta do quality content. If you don't do quality content, nobody's gonna care.
Correct.
To look at it, you know. So it's just you gotta put in the work, you know.
It's very important in this day. It goes back to like you said, content, right? And it goes back to like, you know, going back to like you need to make sure you take every opportunity for content. Like, you know, obviously I understand like you want to play, you know, for the, you know, on the EDM side, the big Insomniac clubs, or on the Latin side, you want to play Abesso and Downey or Copper Door or, you know, Agaves. I could name them all for days. And realistically, it's like you got to earn your right, you know, because like as an example, right, even though I'm not an agency, you know, I still go at bat for my guys. Like I just had literally a meeting with a venue that I've been trying to get into. You know, a couple of my guys have played there through different promoters, but at the end of the day, the goal is to have everyone play there, you know, as far as on my team. And, you know, they're used to, like, a lot of these venues are used to, like, paying an agency fee and stuff like that. But, like, I have to reiterate, like, hey, like, I'm not an agency. Like, I'm not going to charge you an extra $50-100, you know, per gig because I want to book them, you know, and obviously respect to you because your business model is different. But for me, it goes back to content. Why? Right? Because, you know, it's a struggle. Like realistically, these clubs are not even paying much. You know, like obviously for their privacy, I'm not going to tell you how much they get paid. You know. But if we're lucky, like we're making, you know, a decent money where they could actually pay their bills. You know, that's why a lot of these artists and DJs and even like me, we have to have our 9-to-5 job or stuff like that until we get into the big leagues of, you know, the Insomniacs, the Ultras, or you get signed by Universal Music Group, you know, on the Latin side or stuff like that. So
I can say wholeheartedly, and this is I don't think anybody's gonna hate me for this. I don't think I'm putting anybody on blast here. All Insomniac DJs that like are like starting at 5, they're not getting paid.
No.
They're not getting paid. So if you think you made it because you did a set at EDC, no.
You probably paid for free. And here's the thing, like, you know, and I'm all about like speaking the truth, right? So, you know, like I said, I love my Insomniac partners. Like, you know, I have a really great relationship with them, but you know, that's why they test out DJs specifically in their offsite rooms, right? So if they get a you know, DJ number A, which is supposed to be a headliner, and they're not selling tickets, that's where they reach out to certain collectives to say, hey, do you want to take upstairs and do a takeover, kind of like how Group Chat did, and love Group Chat, love Jester, shout out to them. They created a monster,
100%, yeah.
So shout out to Jester and the Group Chat individuals. But like, those day ones from Group Chat, like you have these people playing at Hardfest, EDC now. Jester's like touring worldwide, and all that good stuff. I mean, hey, Rayburger and Chan played there, and then like they're doing their own thing. They're signed with an agency now. Yeah. And it just goes back to, like you said, there's no point in skipping levels. Like time and time again, I hear like, hey, well, I'm a great producer. Like I have all this music, I have all this followings. Okay, that's cute, but did you put in the work?
Yeah, right.
Shout out to one of my artists. Her name is Monik. I knew about her about a year ago because I met her in San Diego at a friend's gig that he was doing down south, and I just got to know her like very, very high level. And when I started my business officially back in February, I bumped into her again. I think it was like a Galentine's event at Dimock at the office. It was like a private thing.
Whoa, for sure.
And I honestly told him like, hey, like I'm about to start something. Like I would love to be like your manager, this and that, because I already knew like she put in the work. Before me, like she was doing the collectives, the afters, like the shady spots, like as far as like downtown and like is my car gonna get broken into? But she put in the work, right? And she's different because like she's really big on a certain genre, and realistically that's not where my focus is, but I see that she is going to make it, and I know she's going to play for a festival in Insomniac within the next year. I gave her that commitment because I know I could do it as long as she put in the work. She put in the work in way before me, but she's doing these additional things. Yeah. But realistically, like it's important to go out there and network with these individuals. Like, hey, if you want to play at Academy, like spend the time to really get to know the security guards for them to at one point allow you to go on stage and get to know the booking agents or the liaisons and stuff like that. Yeah. She did all that, like that was way before me. She became friends with one of the booking agents, and realistically, like she needed me to, as a brand, push as a manager, hey, she's already done all these takeovers. She's shown ticket sales. She brings in people. That's what you guys want, right? Because that equals alcohol sales. Yeah. I need her on a supporting set on stage. Yeah. 3 weeks later, they're like, okay, cool. She's gonna be opening for, a certain DJ, and she got to finally open a supporting set at Academy on the same weekend as Day Trip. I was so proud of her because literally, like, as you know, a supporting set anywhere or an opener, right? You don't have anybody in there. Right. Dude, like, if you pull up her videos from that day, it was just an hour set from 10 to 11. Like, the floor was cracking. Like, the floor was cracking for her, where even the lighting guys were like, shoot, like, as you know, like, in those clubs, they don't even turn up the lights until, like, the headliner. Right. Oh, no, the lights were on, like, in a good way, where, like, she was getting the best content ever. Right. So, like, shout out to her, but, and other people, obviously, on my team, even Cass, like, he's been doing he puts in so much work, too. Yeah. So I'm not saying that she's the only one. But, she did all that stuff before me, right? But that was her, I was begging her to be her manager at a certain point, but then she finally realized, okay, like, this guy's not just trying to, leech on, like, he could be an asset. Yeah. And that's why she was agreeing, like, hey, okay, fine, let's do a contract for so many years or whatever it might be, because I know that she will be playing, at festivals. I know that, progressive is coming back. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I love house, that's the thing, but it's always the wave, right? Yeah. House is house. House will always have their certain place. Techno will always have a certain place.
It comes and goes. It comes and goes.
It comes and goes, but if you really pay attention, progressive's coming back.
Big time.
And if you're not riding that next wave, that's you're gonna lose out. I mean, think of it this way, right? So in a couple weeks, right, like, Hardwell's coming out, and he's only playing in 2 spots in the U.S. besides Vegas, L.A. and New York. He's going to be doing a big slot, right, in Vegas, or I'm sorry, in L.A. I don't know how it's going to work out because even I think it's like S2O festival. I always wanted to go to that. It's like a Korean or Taiwan type of festival, but Afrojack's playing it. Guess where I'm gonna be at? I'm gonna be at that place. But it's like for Hardwell to play in L.A. or in New York specifically, it tells you like yes, he doesn't play as much progressive now, but it's coming back. What happened a couple weeks ago? Martin Garrix, right?
Yeah.
Sold out. Was it 2 or 3 shows or something like that? Three, right?
I
So
went on
three,
Sunday.
see, right? And what did he play? Right? He played his new stuff, right? But a lot of progressive.
Yep.
So it's like like I tell any DJs right now, like get into that aspect. And that's what Monica's doing right now. It's like she's strictly. I've asked her like, hey, can we get content? Like, can I put you, at best or a copper door? Like, can you be open format a little bit? And she told me no. Like, no, this is my thing. As a manager, I get frustrated, but I get it, right?
No, it's funny because I feel like there's this like I have friends or some of the DJs in the agency that they're like, oh, they're stuck on their ways and they're like, oh, like this is all I want to play or this is the type of music I want to play, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just one of those things. Like I respect that, but at the same time, like what are you trying to do? Like.
Correct.
You got, like you said, you have to be adaptable. You can't dismiss that there's trends.
Correct, 100%.
And reggaeton was really hot for a while. Latin house became hot. Bass house. Right now, I feel like the big thing is hardstyle. Hardstyle is just so big right now. But you're right. Progressive is kind of coming in. Like that deep house feeling. Deep house.
Comes the cafeton things, the rooftop parties, and all that good stuff. Yeah.
And if DJs aren't adaptable, then it's like, cool. Hey, more power to you if you have the fan base, right? If you have the fan base to support your art, your craft, by all means, keep doing what you're doing. Because there are bass heads, there are hardstyle heads. There are people who will follow you anywhere. Like by all means, go for it. But if you're really trying to like make something of yourself, and you don't have that foundation, you don't have that fan base yet, I think you should really like kind of like adapt, be adaptable.
Correct. I'm not going to mention a name, but there is an individual, on my management team, and that individual is adaptable, but they're trying to find their sound and all that good stuff, which I respect, right? But realistically, it went back to the simple things of like, hey, like that's great, but we need a bunch of content. Like I don't care if we put your type of music on an overlay, of that, but if we have sparklers on the side of you and like fog machines and stuff like that, it's adaptable to any genre of music. You just put on top of it, slap it on there, and guess what? I could send that to UTA or Ultra or Corson Agency, like all these agencies out there, and like, oh shit, like like he has a crowd. They don't know you were playing freaking gasolina and reggaeton and all that stuff, but that's where since you're a producer, you were able to do that. And this individual, like first was giving me pushback on that stuff, but I'm like, dude, just trust the process, get the content.
Yeah.
But like invest. Like I always tell people, like too, like I get it. They don't make that much money. Even in the clubs right now, but like invest. In a good like photographer, videographer is really big because it goes back to content. Like like photos are cool, but if you don't have a reel or something like that,
right?
Like forget it. They're not gonna be looking at you at that point.
Our it's so funny that you mentioned that because every time we bring a DJ on to the agency, we tell them like, oh, you gotta have headshots and you gotta get them done through. Big shout out Hector Islas Photography.
He's great. He actually did mine recently. So yes, I love my photos.
Yeah, no. We tell our team like you gotta get these headshots, or we're not gonna take the time. If you send me a rinky dink picture, I'm not gonna create a flyer with it. I'm sorry, like I'm just not. Like you gotta
just put the logo at that point.
Yeah, I'll just put your logo. If you have a logo, and if not, I'm just gonna put like Times New Roman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't have the time. Our marketing team is not gonna spend the time to create a logo for you, to like go and do headshots for you. It's like that's I think Brandon says it best. Brandon's my business partner, and it's Don Dirty. He's like, you got to do the work.
Yeah.
And for us as an agency, you gotta give us the work to work with.
Correct.
And I'm sure you feel the same way.
100%.
You give me the work to work with, I'll put you out there. I'll make things happen for you. But if you don't do the work, and I don't have the work to work with, I kind of just don't want you on my team. Like, I know it sounds mean, but
No, it's red flags from the very beginning, because, going back to the question you asked me earlier, like, what is it that you look for? That's another thing I do. It's like I give them a specific project, I have guys, like, look, sometimes we get, like, gigs that, will pay. I'll say this, right? So, like, there's some places that, like, we want to get into, and then even though, like, they're headliners at other places, they're willing to open, specifically, but what sucks is that, like, they're lucky for 2 hours or even sometimes 4 hours, which I'm not a fan of, but I got to play the game too. They get paid like $150, bro. Like, it's crazy, and any DJ is worth more than that. We're not at the day though where, like, certain DJs are used to getting paid, $900, $1,000 for 2 hours. That doesn't exist anymore because of, not only, like, what's going on with the economy and, politics and all that stuff, but people just don't want to sit there and actually go and actually spend that money. So then if people are not buying drinks, goes back to trends,
right.
All that stuff. So, like, there's certain places these days which is smart. They're not selling a bar minimum as far as, like, a bottle minimum, but they're still selling the table as a space.
Yeah.
Because for me, like, hey, like, if you want me to spend a minimum, $200, $300, $400, and you're selling, like, wings or something like that, like, I'll do that, or some sodas, but I have my spot, like, where I can hang out and, like, chill and not worry about getting pushed or getting pit pocketed and stuff like that. That's worth it. And those are the smart venues right now that they're adapting to either or.
Yeah.
We could get you a bottle, or, like, it's just a minimum spend instead of an alcohol spend. And
right.
that's being very successful right now.
100%. So, Sergio, we are done with the first hour, man.
Really? That fast?
It flew by.
Dang.
So now we have a tequila challenge.
Okay.
We started with a vodka challenge. Now we're going to do the same challenge. Can't make a face, but it's going to be with tequila.
Oh, dang.
So
all right. Cool.
We got our tech Randy. He's going to hook us up.
All right. Awesome. Let's do it.
I love this song.
Yes, popping bottles, right? And what's today? Today's like a Wednesday, so dang, I feel attacked, but
Halfway.
oof,
Oh,
kindly.
give him that.
All right. Let's see.
There you go.
There we go. So we're doing a face or what? Oh no, we're not supposed to do a face.
No faces.
Does it count the fact that he has glasses?
You know what? I'm gonna take out my glasses for this one. All right. So
We're both on it.
All right,
cool.
3, 2.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. We good? Made a face? Anybody? Nope.
I'm concerned at that point.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you for that. It was a really good shot.
Yep.
Really good shot.
Believe it or not, bro, I actually got really into tequila,
Okay.
and
That's all we drink. I'm just saying.
That's what the industry is drinking right now. Like I was mentioning, like it was that era where it's like it was all vodka, like Belvedere, and then you would have Ciroc. Like when we talk about Ciroc, like that's still like I haven't drank it in a long time, but like that was my water. Like it was like red berry was the one thing I didn't have to mix.
right.
Then I started hanging out with all these like worldwide DJs, so they would get like the big Belvedere bottles and Grey Goose and stuff like that. But after COVID, that changed where everyone went to tequila.
Yeah.
The 1942s, the freaking Clase Azul, just like high-end bottles, supposedly Casamigos and all that stuff.
So that's what I was gonna say. Like I got really into tequila.
Yeah.
I started doing all the research. I started looking into it, and oh my goodness, bro! Like all the things we think are high end,
They're not.
they're not, bro. They're not to be disrespectful, but they're just trash.
It's true. I mean, look, wasn't there recently? I can't believe it's so cold. That's crazy. Anyway, sorry. And look, if you feel it, this,
shoot! Yeah.
Loki, this is why I love this company. Is like, and trust me, they don't sponsor me, but I do like this because, like, literally, like, this is still cold. So, like I said, once again, shout out to these guys at NF.
Yeah, 100%.
But anywho, yeah, that's the thing is that like there was a recent study they came out, right, and like they were exposing that like all those brands were like very like, was it like sugary or something like that?
They're putting a bunch of additives.
Yeah, exactly.
A bunch of additives, so that they're not real tequila.
Yeah.
So it kind of like diminishes the quality of what tequila is supposed to be. So that's why when I started researching, Randy, he works with, he's the tech, and we work together a lot, and we started just really drinking like the high quality stuff, which is like Lalo tequila, Genta, Irlandés tequila, just stuff that has no additives. So it's additive free tequila. So.
You know what's actually good, honestly, and like I said, this is not me being biased. There's a new company out there. It's called, and sorry if I say it wrong, but I believe it's called Dios Azul.
I've heard of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
so,
with Dioro. Dioro sponsors that. Yeah.
So Dioro's been on top of that, and realistically, it's because like same thing. Like they have to make sure it's like good stuff because they have like Dioro's huge right now. And shout out to him. Like he's blown up. Like I've known him for. Dude, I have pictures of me on my Instagram of like him and I in 2013 at Ultra when I went to Ultra for my first time in Miami.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like. Dios Azul, like they have good quality stuff, and I got to taste them actually officially like in Lancaster. They had one of their power slap guys.
Okay.
They came to one of my events, and it's really good tequila. But obviously, like the owners, when that thing came out, they're like, we told you guys, like this is like we're good stuff, but it's really clean stuff. I mean, like I'll be transparent, like I like Red Bull myself. And it's not even about like specifically like does it wake me up or energy or like stuff like that. Fun fact, I don't drink coffee. And some people are like, how do you not drink coffee when you don't sleep? Like, are you doing Coke or all this stuff? I'm like, no, I really don't. Like, I just never got into coffee because I don't like hot things touching my mouth, to be honest.
Okay.
Meaning like I don't like soups, none of that stuff. I just never been like that.
Yeah.
But realistically, I just like the natural taste of Red Bull, like original.
Yeah.
But I think maybe it's my ADHD that doesn't do anything to me. Like when it comes to that, I just like the taste.
Yeah, I'm actually the same way, bro. I don't, not into energy drinks. Like they don't do anything to me. I'm naturally energetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but I do, believe it or not, we tasted this at EDC last year. Ghost. I know you hate it. But Ghost with tequila. Oh my goodness, bro! It's so good. It is so good.
You know why I don't like Ghost? Like I said, nothing wrong against Ghost, but I don't like it because specifically it's very fruity. And at that point, I'd rather just do the less calories and then, do cranberry juice, orange juice.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think it's just because me personally, like I like the natural taste of original Red Bull, very carbonated. Even Ghost is not as carbonated either.
Right.
It's more juicy and stuff like that. So for me, like I'm like, ugh. So like, don't tell nobody. Hopefully, Insomniac's not watching this, but I always try to, hide my Red Bulls when I go in, especially when with an artist, because I'm like, shoot, like this is what I want, like when I enjoy my night.
Yeah.
And realistically, like
Yeah, because Insomniac does nothing but Ghost, right? They got a partnership.
It's 100% Ghost.
100% Ghost. Yeah. Yeah, when I went last year, I was very surprised. I was looking for Red Bull tequila. That's what.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll just try the Ghost, and I fell in love with it. I just fell in love with it, but. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It is fruity. I get it. But I like the fruity drinks. No homo.
No, I like them. I like them too. But for me, like what you will learn about me, right? About Sergio, right? Not Big Surgz, but Sergio or Sergio, right? Is more of like when I'm drinking for me specifically. If you see a good bottle of champagne in my hands, and even it's like if you go to Costco and you spend $45 on like a Moet, like it's $45, but in the club it's freaking $500.
Right.
So if you see me drinking like Moet and stuff like that, like I'm literally having like a personal day.
Okay.
Just because I actually do like a nice cold, crisp, like bubbly drink, and that's my favorite. When you see me drinking everything else, like don't get me wrong, like I do love vodka. Like I said, like Neft has been really good. But definitely Neft specifically has been my replacement of my water, right, of Ciroc.
I like the little. This is cool, man. Little tank.
I'm telling you, yeah. It's crazy. Like I said, I don't want to make it sound like a sponsorship because it's not. They don't sponsor me whatsoever. But what I love about Neft, right, specifically is that one of the executives, his name is Enrique. He's really big on helping out DJs, and they co-sponsor what's called I don't know if you ever heard of Industry Hours.
Yeah.
It's once a month. It's in like Hollywood area, and what I like about it is that they work with other like major collectives like Framed and other individuals, and they bring like guest speakers like and we're talking about big people. Not
Yeah.
only that, do they do free headshots, and you pay like a certain amount of money. Is very very affordable, and you get open bar, which is crazy, right? These day and age,
Right.
you get open bar. They feed you, so they bring catering to the actual place, but then they do a Q&A panelist thing. So like the first time I ever went, it was a dim mock night, and
Okay.
basically they had like Lauren, which is the president right now of dim mock. Shout out to him, really love the guy.
That's Steve Aoki, right?
Steve Aoki's label, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, Steve Aoki basically gave all the stuff right now to Lauren, which is actually the manager of one of my good friends, Layback Luke. I love Layback Luke, very humble individual. But then it enabled me to meet other people, right?
Yeah.
You have Benzi, which is the A&R of Dim Mock, really great guy. You have Isaac, dude. I love Isaac. I don't know if you ever met Isaac Santos, but he's in charge of like all the events. So like, an example like the Persian Square, event that was a couple weeks back, or any big stuff like that. It's Dim Mock takeovers. He's in charge of that.
Yeah.
Very humble guy. I love that guy to death. And he's welcomed me with open arms. But they do those industry hours because then you get to have the chance to really get to network. And I encourage any type of artist, producer, DJ, like invest in that, whatever, 25, 30, maybe $40 ticket. And, if you want to get exposed out there, like go out there. Like this is the only place where like you get to shake hands with like labels. Like I know like, there's always some type of brand or big collective that actually goes and, does the Palace interview. They've had big artists there before. And it's good exposure for anybody. If you really want to get your name out there and stuff like that.
Where does it take place?
So it's somewhere in Hollywood. It's called Industry Hours. I usually just naturally repost it on my Instagram because, like I said, I see the value on it for any DJ, even if it's not mine. I've taken most of my DJs there, even though like they don't need to go there. I've taken them there, but it's just even for like the networking hour, it's really important. Just because I've shooken hands with people from Insomniac, as an example, and different things like that.
We're gonna do a timeout real quick, bro. So there's a lot of comments.
Yeah, of course.
We just wanna acknowledge them. If
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Okay. So Randy's gonna read them out.
They're telling me to go home and shut up, huh? It's cool.
So we're like going like way back, like beginning. So your boy Enrique, he said is it me or is it not showing video? Okay, so
that was when
that was
yeah
okay.
when we first started streaming. Yeah.
He said let's go Big Surgz. Jeanette was like, hey, let's see. Enrique brought up what's the vocal code?
Neft? Oh, is
Neft?
Enrique from Neft on there? Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to Enrique, and hopefully
Let's
Dylan's
go.
on.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
I didn't expect him to be on.
In the house. He said cheers. Jeanette said Perologia, so
Oh, she was just shouting out, but
Yeah.
big shout out, Jeanette. Thank you so much for watching.
she said run it up again. I think we should.
We have to, bro. We have to.
Dang,
Hey, you down to team up?
A Big Things and Famous Agency? I'm
You're
down.
down to collab?
I'm down, dude. I'm
Yeah.
all about collaborations.
That was Space Monkey, but yes,
yeah,
through
we'll do
Famous.
Space Monkey.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Space Monkey in a while, bro. We need to bring it back. I'm
This
down.
year, hopefully. This
I'm
year.
down.
Yeah, we're waiting.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
to get my DJing skills better so I could DJ.
Y'all heard it here first. Moro wants to open up.
Didn't he play for one of your sponsors? The place you were talking about, the laser and all that good stuff.
The Empress LA.
Yeah,
Moro, yeah, that was
that's
him.
where I met you, right?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
dude, like you killed it, and like even though it was the middle of the day, but like at the end of the day, like that sponsor ended up booking you. That tells me a lot about you. So
appreciate it,
don't doubt yourself, my friend.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
you heard it. You heard it from Big Surgz, the man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Boba was in it.
Oh, dope.
He said nice setup. Oh, I
Let's
guess
go.
the whole
Yeah,
setup
yeah,
thing.
This is new. This is brand new. This is just for you, bro.
I had to change it.
Yeah.
Enrique Beck, he said shout out to DJ Cast. Jeanette again, fortunate for sure. Let's see, Don Dirty.
Don Dirty.
Don Dirty's on there. What's up, Don?
I don't know if he's on it, but yeah, he was on it earlier. ¿Cómo se llama? Captain. ¿Está Jeanette Zeta?
Okay.
Cafetón.
Cafetón.
Oh yeah, Cafetón. Let's see. Someone said, "Is that Nefet vodka on the table?" Yep.
Nef vodka. Yeah. Big shout out Nef vodka. It's really good, by the way. It's really, really good.
You know what's crazy is that I like I said, they don't sponsor me or anything like that, but I did ask for a favor because we did a pop up with Ray Burger.
Yeah.
And like I said, he that goes back to what you said, right? Ray Burger's very humble. Like I said, as a human being,
Dude.
love Ray Burger.
Top notch.
And,
Yeah.
Realistically, when it comes to numbers, his biggest fan base is Los Angeles, even though he's from Texas.
Damn. Yeah.
But he's like, you know what, Sergio? Like, he goes like, I want to give back to the community. This was like a month ago, where like the riots and I don't want to get into politics, but ICE and all that stuff was going on.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, like I want to be able to give someone give the people, a free show. Like obviously, at the end of the day, there was cost to him. He spent a lot of money to make it happen. Me as a management group, we spent a lot of money. We teamed up with Volser, which is another individual that he does a lot of after hours and stuff like that. So a shout out to Chris. He helped out with some expenses as well. But we threw that event, and then I did ask the NEF team, like, hey, like, can we have a couple of some alcohol stuff, because at the end of the day, like, we got to give hospitality, and there is costs, right? Like,
Yeah, basically.
the venues, like, they make their money on alcohol. So like we convinced the venue specifically, like, hey, can we just have a couple things to bring in here, and just out of their privacy, I'm not gonna drop names, but we had like 2 or 3 artists that showed up and did it back to back with Ray Burger. I'm not gonna say who. If you do your digging, you'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
I got a message, like, he goes, this individual's like, oh shit, bro, like, I've never heard of Net Vodka. Tell him to send me some stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, chill, bro. Like, we'll get you some. But honestly, like, for me, it's good. Like, I'm telling you, like, I think it's from and I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, Neff, but I think it's from like Australia or something like that. But it's like premium vodka, and I do like it, to be honest with you. Like,
that was very good.
I don't need to mix it.
Dude,
Like,
try it.
try it, please.
I'll
Like,
try it after. Oh.
no, get over here, bro. Like, come on.
God.
I know you're the back end,
Dude,
but
take
like
a
we
shot.
gotta make sure you
Bro,
try this out.
Did you see what Dioro did with he did a like a fundraiser for the ice.
Yeah,
skating.
yesterday. Yeah, with
Yesterday, 10
Cascade
grand.
and everybody.
10 grand, bro. You brought in 10 grand.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
dude, I love Dioro, bro. Like, honestly, like, he right now is so hot, and at the end of the day, like,
Are we all doing a shot? You're doing a shot?
yeah, let's do it. Like I said, like, I could drink this as is. That's what I love about Neft. Dude, you know what? We need to work on the sponsorship from Neft, because I'd be talking too much about that.
Here's the thing, you could get that sponsorship with Nev, and we got that sponsorship with the Irlandés tequila.
Oh, dang.
So,
Okay.
Tequila, Andés, big things. I don't know. I feel like we're cooking something right here.
Dude,
on the
imagine the
spot.
possibilities, because like I think I've overheard rumors like Neff is taking over the game as far as like
Vodka?
Vegas and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
So
bro.
like shout out to them. But
Yo, Randy, get in here, bro. Everybody, you're about to meet the tech.
all you do, I always respect the front
Big,
house.
big shout out, Randy.
Cheers, guys.
Let's go.
Thank you. And you see, like I don't make a face with Neff vodka, because low key, like, it's actually good.
Wow, that is sweet. That means smooth.
It's smooth. Like, I'm sorry, but like, if you drink Grey Goose or Belvedere, you're drinking like literally like rubbing alcohol.
That is.
It
very
sucks.
smooth.
That's why Ciroc Red Berry has always been my thing, because
Yeah.
like that I could drink like water, but I'm like low key, like Neff vodka, like low key is good. But
Yeah.
I need to stop fangirling about Neff vodka. Like, Enrique, if you're on, you need to pay me for this. I'm just kidding. No, they're cool peeps.
That is the smoothest vodka I've ever tasted.
Yeah, it's good.
Bro, let me tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story about Randy. Everyone's going to hear it. Look,
Tell me.
I say it on every podcast because it is such a good story.
That's a lie. You didn't bring it up.
Last week, I forgot.
You brought it up at least 3 times.
but almost on every podcast I bring it up. Last year we went to EDC because it was his birthday, so it lands on.
My birthday falls on the.
It lands on EDC.
of
Oh, in May. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
This guy, he's pre-partying. I'm gonna try to keep it short. He's pre-partying at the Airbnb. He has like 7 drinks. About 7 drinks at the Airbnb. Okay.
Damn. And you take that long shuttle or Uber?
No. We drove. We drove to EDC.
Even worse. You're a beast, bro. Okay.
Yeah. So we drove to EDC, and in the parking lot, he has 2 shots.
One.
One. He has
There was one inside the Airbnb.
Yes. Okay. So 7 drinks at the Airbnb, 1 shot at the parking lot. We get in. I tell him, Randy, for your birthday, I'm gonna hook you up. Let's go to the bar. I got you. So we walk up to the bar. I tell the bartender, it's a girl, like, hey, you gotta hook up my homie because it's his birthday. You gotta take care of him. Here we go. Like, he's gonna get vodka, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It was vodka Sprite or vodka cranberry. I don't remember.
It was Sprite because it was clear.
Sprite.
Ew. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Homegirl must have liked them or something, right? Grabs the cup, probably about this size, right? But it was a clear cup. Grabs the vodka bottle and fills it up to the top. To the top.
Deadly.
And then puts this much of Sprite.
Oh, my move was more deadly,
It,
bro.
Okay.
it reminds me of that meme. You know that like old lady goes, 2 shots of vodka?
Yeah.
That reminds me of that.
Morro, Randy, decides to chug the whole thing.
Like I said, my move was more deadly.
He chugs the whole thing for his birthday, and then he's like, I want another drink. Then he goes and gets a Four Locos.
Oh my gosh. How old are you, bro, if I may ask?
I just turned 25. So
Oh, that's why,
I
bro.
was 24.
That's why.
Gets a Four Locos. Here's the funny part, bro. He went to see Dioro. Do you think he saw Dioro?
No. You played
My
at
phone
what,
is-
like 2 in the morning or what? Like,
No. This
No.
was like
It was like a 12-1.
12-1, yeah.
this year, right? Or last year?
Last-
Last year.
Oh, that was a great set, by the way.
Oh, amazing set. He missed the whole thing, bro. He missed the whole thing because
The funny part is that I got recording of it. Like, I literally have footage of it, but I don't remember jack.
oh my goodness, bro. Oh, it was a good time though. It was a good time.
It sounds like me at Ultra because my birthday always falls on or around Ultra because my birthday's March 30th.
Yeah.
So luckily, like,
What you do?
oh, dude, there's been times there's been times like where I've literally have partied with like Paris Hilton or like, you know, and same thing, like you go back into my Instagram and like, you know, like I'm taking a selfie with Martin Garrix, like, hey, what's up, you know, or like freaking Paris Hilton. I'm all like, I have a video, it's funny, I'm gonna repost it purposely in a couple weeks again just for the fun of it, like as a throwback.
I heard she parties, bro.
Dude, bro, like, first of all, she parties a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. Like a lot of people, like they end up talking smack to her because she's considered one of those, like, you know, push button DJs and
Yeah.
whatever. Each their own. Like I don't get involved, you know. But realistically, like she still tries to be a vibe, but she really is. But when there was this one time at Ultra where like, and to be honest, like I'll do shout out to Afrojack. Like honestly, like he's always taken care of me for Ultra specifically.
Yeah.
Because he knows it's my birthday, and if there's one thing that I always ask him as a friend, I'm like, hey, bro, can you please take care of me for Ultra? Because realistically, like I said, I love my Insomniac partners, but Ultra's like the thing of the United States, right? Not only because of winter, like Ultra Music Week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But realistically, Ultra starts the season on the
Oh, of
EDM
course.
side.
Yeah, of course.
So, if it's any favors I ask, it's always gonna be Ultra because
That's
of
the
my
one.
birthday.
Yeah.
And you know, luckily, like even so, like this year alone, like I went on a Sunday because usually, like it's my birthday, I like to spend time with, you know, the family, Disney World. Like I'm a big Disney fan, and so is my family. And you know, I went just Ultra Sunday because Alfred was playing. And, you know, like I said, shout out to his management team. They took care of me. And it was fun, you know, like, and that's the thing, man. It's like a lot of people, like, usually think, like, oh, my God, like, you know, when you're out and about, you need to bring a bunch of girls and stuff like that, or a plus ones. Like, dude, I went to Ultra by myself, you know, just because I'm like, I want to enjoy my time. It's my birthday. And realistically, what was great about it is that that same night, when it turned into March 30th, you know, Layback Luke played at 11. I don't know if you've ever been to 11 nightclub or you've heard of it, you know,
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
like 24-hour. It's funny because they call it a 24-hour strip club, but it really isn't a strip club because it's like more of just like, oh, I went to 11, just like how you go to Space, you
Yeah.
know, in Miami. And it was cool because like I actually celebrated my birthday at 11, but if it wasn't for the relationships, honestly, that I've built and it's genuine relationships, like, I'll be honest with you, like, I can't afford fucking 10, 15 grand tables. Like, I can't. Like, I you know, like, I have responsibilities, I have expenses, stuff like that, but it goes back to those genuine relationships, and that's why I encourage any DJ, any producer that is watching this today. It's like be genuine, like, you know, create those connections, like, um,
It's more about that, right?
yeah, it really is. Like, you know, and I'm sorry, like, I'm gonna bring it up again, but like, dude, like, Cass is really great as having a personal relationship with Layback Luke. Like,
Yeah.
they do their own, like, you
They're
know,
homies, right?
they're homies,
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
like, and I could confidently say that, like, you know, he mentors Cass, you know, specifically, like, you know, side by side, and it's not about Cass trying to be the next freaking Layback Luke, you know, it's just that Cass is very genuine in how he reaches and communicates with individuals,
Yeah.
and that's why, you know, like, I fuck with the Cass because specifically it's like he is a genuine person. You know, he's really into health and fitness, and so is Luke.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like we had the opportunity to go out for Tao Beach Club, you know, which is a big thing for Layback Luke going into the Tao group in Vegas, and you know, Cass went out there, and we literally did a turnaround trip. It's funny. It's like we flew in at 11 a.m. We met up with Luke at like 12, and we were there for a set from like 3 to 5, and we flew back home because I actually booked a set for Cass because it was his birthday week as well.
I bet so.
That same night. This one was rain, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was rain for that night. But it goes back to like, you know, Luke. You know, like I said, very genuine person. Like, if it's crazy because like I said, I love Layback Luke. You know, he's become a personal friend of mine. He's all about like energy. You know what I love
Yeah.
about him, and anytime he comes in town, like it's, you know, he has his friends that, you know, are before him, but like, you know, comes with open arms with us. But like, you know, Cass has put in the work, you know, as
Yeah.
far as that. But like literally, like we were there. I'm not gonna talk about the conversation, but we were waiting to go outside of Tao Beach Club, and Cass specifically was asking him about some like best practices and like advice. And usually, like your average DJ would be like, dude, like go fuck yourself. Like you know, like I don't have to do this for you. Luke literally was sitting there and actually like spending the time with Cass
Yeah.
and was telling him, hey, like I recommend A, B, and C for your Mi Gente Academy, and he doesn't have to do that.
That's what I tell my DJs, bro. Like I feel like when you join Famous, you're skipping the line.
Yep.
Because and you could ask Randy, like I feel like we're giving you information, tips, tricks, advice that nobody else is gonna give you.
100%. It goes back to my management group too, because at the end of the day, I'm so picky because number one, right, no one helped me get to where I was besides the mentorship of these worldwide DJs, right?
So you want to pay it forward.
Exactly. I mean, realistically, it's like, you know, I don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm a fan of everybody that I'm with, and that's what makes me different as a management group. Like, I'm a fan of all my artists that are on my roster before being their manager, before
Yeah.
being like that. Because if you can't be a fan of your own type of clientele, then there's no point at that point.
Right.
So that's important to me. Like
Yeah.
I gotta love your music. I gotta be able to do that. I'm really big on, once again, adaptability. Can you make an edit to a very popular song? Like, you know, another example is like, you know, shout out to DJ M Fresh. You know, when you think of M Fresh, and this is a perfect example, right? If you look up on DJ City or Beatport and stuff like that, you more than likely, you as a DJ, right? So you probably have an edit or two of his on your library,
100%, bro.
right? Exactly. And you know, like I said, great guy, great individual. Ironically, he got mentored by Santa Rosa. You know what I mean?
I believe it. Yeah.
You know, but realistically, my boy M Fresh, you know, he's been stuck in that bubble of, you know, he plays at local bars in Fullerton and stuff like that. And realistic, I'm like, nah, bro, like you need to like get out and about. And I've given him those opportunities and playing like in other cities and stuff like that. But he's adaptable because number one, realistically, he's had the opportunity to, you know, create edits and stuff like that he already does. But dude, like it goes back to relationship building. Like, I actually took him out for his birthday. He was out there in Vegas for Palm Tree Beach Club is what it's called. It used to be called Wear Republic, and this was like a couple months back. And you know, like I loved once again goes back to me loving like day clubs. So like I went out there naturally because Dior was playing, and Dior didn't have to do this, right? But I asked Dior, I'm like, hey, bro, like, you know, my boy M Fresh, he just made a brand new edit of one of your songs. Like, can you potentially play it? He didn't have to, right? Like I said, like Dior does not owe me nothing. Like I said, he's a friend over anything. But at the end of the day, I will always be a fan of these guys over, you know, like a business partner because like he doesn't owe me anything. Like I said,
it's about relationships. You know?
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
And you know, realistically, like so, Empress was there with his friends and family, and you know, we were chilling in the booth, and then, dude, Dior surprises us. He's like, he's about to play a song. And then, you know, his TM, which is Eden, great guy too, shout out to him. And he's like, hey, come real quick. I'm like, oh, shit. Bro, like freaking M-Fresh has the opportunity to go on to the main booth. And then he plays Dior plays one of his M-Fresh edits from Dior. That's huge. And it goes back to content. And, like, you can't put a price tag on that because of the fact that, like, you know, that's like, now I could go to these venues and be like, hey, bro, like, here's content, bro. Like, you know, this is M Fresh, someone that you don't know supposedly, right? But he's able to, he got to play with one of the biggest artists in Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's important. It goes back to content. You know, come 100%. To that, right? You know, then he finally got to meet Dioro, and Dioro, I know Dioro did it as a favor for me, and I appreciate that. You know, so shout out to Dioro. Like I said, very humble individual, and you know, he got to get a selfie with him and all that good stuff, and then, you know, my connections in Vegas as far as like the photographers, they took some really nice photos as well. But realistically, it's just like that gives me ammunition as a management group. Like, hey, guess what? This guy just got to do a back to back with Dioro in freaking Vegas,
right?
You know, and then guess what? Same thing, right? So who was the closer for what was it? Hardfest, right? About 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
it was Dioro,
right?
He played one of M Fresh's edits as well. Now I did not push that whatsoever. You know, M Fresh just honestly, he did his due diligence, right? It goes back to like putting in the work. He literally.
Sorry to cut you off, man, but if M Fresh hadn't made a badass track, Dioro would have never played it.
Hell no, dude. Let's be real, right? Like,
and that's where I'm saying you got to do both.
Yeah, like Dioro doesn't owe anybody anything, right? And for him being the major artist, and on top of that, you know, after being the main closer of Hardfest, you know, he went to Academy and did an afters, which I was able to be there because, like I said, shout out to Ray Berger. I was his TM because I am his tour manager on the West region. He invited me out there. You know, realistically, you didn't have to pay him for a song, but for you to play an edit of one of Dioro's, you know, recent songs, and you played it in front of, 40,000 people?
Right.
Dude, that's like next level, like, props.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, like I said, shout out to M Fresh because he's going above and beyond, but, you know, realistically, it goes back to putting in the hard work like everyone else is doing on my team, right?
Yeah.
And I tell these guys, like, day and night, like, you gotta make sure, like, yes, you might be into, you know, techno or hard or, you know, reggaeton and stuff like that, but, like, realistically, like, understand your trends. You guys are producers. Like, make an edit of one of these, like, big songs. Like, add like, you know, a couple things on there when it comes to producing. And don't be afraid to shoot it out to these major artists or DJs to be able to get exposed. Because at the end of the day, you know, whether it's Dior or Steve Aoki or, you know, let's say, you know, a Latin artist like Mike Towers or Ozuna, you know, like, if you make an edit of that, like, they want to play something different, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where it's going to make you different, so then you get those new type of fan bases, and then you can create your own, you know,
sometimes the remixes go harder than the original.
100%.
You know, so I get that. Yeah, no, I get that, and like I said, man, like I feel, building relationships is so important, and I agree with that, like 100%. But if you have the relationship, but you don't have the talent and the quality to go along with it,
There's no point.
there's no point. There's no point. So I push for the same thing. Like I know you. I know your business model is a little bit different, but for Famous DJ Agency, I push for the same thing. We're building experiences. We're wanting you to like really think of yourself as an artist. What are you doing to be different?
Correct.
Like, are you a weekend DJ? Is that your gimmick?
Yeah.
If so, go be that. But you're not gonna be that here. I'm sorry to say it. Like
It's true. It's true.
Fellas, speaking of here, do you want more ice?
I would love that. Yeah, if I get some more ice and more Red Bull. Sorry, no ghosts, please today. No ghosts. I appreciate you. But,
Another shot?
you know what? I'm gonna keep drinking that if you don't mind.
Want me to put a shot?
I'll pour it. Yeah, if you just get some ice and a new Red Bull, that'd be great. I appreciate you, brother.
Squirt, bro. Yeah. Any comments that we need to address?
Let's see. Again, Enrique was like, sir.
Yo, Enrique's
yes,
on,
sir.
bro.
I'm telling you, but I didn't get paid for this stuff. No, I'm just kidding. I love Enrique. You know what? Like, I don't know if he's on or not, but
Well, he keeps commenting, so.
All right, he is on clearly.
I like this. He said, "Life is a story. Make it a good one."
Hey,
I like
okay,
that.
I like that. Yeah,
I
for
like
sure.
that.
What I love about Enrique, and if he's on or if he gets to see the replay, is that he is one of the most genuine individuals that I've met in this industry. And besides doing, like I said, we talked about this networking event that he does with Industry Hours. He also does teaming up with other individuals as far as like this hiring event that they're going to be doing in September as well. They had a recent, I think it was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's called Splash Outs or something in Palm Springs.
Oh yeah, I saw
Like this
that.
weekend.
Yeah.
Like they sponsored like a bunch of after hours and stuff like that. And I was blessed that they invited two of my artists to play there.
Yeah.
And it was the very last minute. And they don't have to do that. So it just goes back to networking and relationship building, because at the end of the day, like I get it, we all have to make money.
Yeah.
Like whether it is and stuff like that. But if it's a genuine connection, the money will come. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But at the
Do what you love.
exactly.
Be passionate about it. The money will come.
100%. And that's what I love about that. Like I said, I love Enrique. I love his son Dylan. Like Dylan, I will do shout out to Dylan if he's watching or if he sees at the replay. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. What I love about Dylan specifically is that besides my management team, he supports every collective that's out there.
Yeah.
That invites him, which I love about Dylan. Like at the end of the day, there's been times where
Dude, can you do half a shot, please?
he'll come out and he will come check out DJ Cast, or he was there for Monic's thing at Academy, or he loves DJ Santa Rosa, it's just like you, all my other guys.
Dude, can you make me a promise?
What's up?
Can you promise me that you'll never tell DJ Santa Rosa that I was fanboying
Dude, if I
the copper door?
if I tell them, I'm about to put you on the ban list, bro. I'm just kidding. Well, you should come out this weekend. He's actually playing in downtown LA, which is rare. Because he, as you know, he only plays in Santa Ana or Long Beach or anything like that.
The fact that this is live, man.
Don't tell him, bro. Don't tell him.
He's too busy to be watching live. So maybe he'll see the recap. But yeah, he's actually playing live on Saturday in downtown LA.
On Saturday.
Yeah, come through.
Are you gonna be there?
Yeah, of course I'm gonna be there, bro.
Dude.
That's the difference between me and any of these. Like I said, no disrespect to you, but because you have so many people in your agency, but for me, I try to be there, especially for big events and
Bro,
stuff like that.
I try to support everybody. It's hard.
But you have way more people than I do.
It's hard, man.
It is.
Sorry,
It
thank
is.
you. Thank
It
you,
is.
Randy. Yeah.
But yeah, he'll be out West 8.
Cheers, by the way.
Cheers. Well, hold on. I gotta put the Neff there. Like, I feel like that lady like 2 shots. I think it's like 4, but hey, you know, it's cool. Thank you.
Cheers, man. Yep.
Yeah, he'll be out there. West 8, which honestly, like, I love that club. It's very like, first of all, like I said, I live in Ventura County, so I love my Santa Ana peeps and my Long Beach peeps and Downey, but like downtown is way closer than Ventura County, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, even over here it was a mission. Like, it sucks.
You live close to Six Flags.
I live more close. I'm in Ventura County, so it's closer to like Northridge, San Fernando.
Oh yeah.
So like even without traffic, like going home today, it's still like an hour 20, bro. But
yeah,
I'm gonna go today. I just got a text. I got invited to go stop by and check out my homegirl Cece Love. I don't know if you ever heard about her.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, I love her.
Yeah,
like she's killing the game in the female side.
Yeah.
I will tell anybody that's listening right now, like if you're a female DJ, like, dude, this is your moment, because realistically, like I said, I love my guy DJs, but we're in a world where, like, you know, it's always like the guys DJs, but like any girl DJ that has been wanting to like be into that, like, please, like, shoot, reach out, like, you know, reach out to me, reach out to, you know, to Famous, and like, you know, let us hear your stuff, because like people want female MCs.
I know you're really busy, but did you catch Sophie Nam by any chance on the podcast?
I got to see it. Yeah. I didn't physically see it, be transparent, but I was listening to it on my drive. And it was good, you know, like, dude, shout out to her. Yeah.
Killer. 100%. Big shout out Sophie Nam. Like, for real. Like, I love her because she's different. Like, you know, she like, it's almost like she like really searches through her crates. Like, and she's really adamant about like playing things that blend together, like even if it's old school to new school, like, right, Randy? Like, I don't know, I just really like freaking loved her. I loved her, like, I really did.
Me personally, since you know I wasn't technically born in the 90s, I was born in the year 2000, but her way that she DJ'd, her music, you know, choices, like, it brought that 90s vibe. And the way that she scratches too, like, it was a vibe. It was
a whole vibe, bro. But
so not a Spotify DJ. I love
no,
that.
not yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, but that was a perfect answer from a Gen Z.
Oh, there you go. No, honestly, like Gen Z. What am I considered? So I was born in '89. I think
millennial. You're a millennial,
right?
I'm a millennial too. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I might be a Gen Z, but I was raised literally with nothing but millennials.
You're
like,
for sure.
I wasn't raised with
so
kids my age.
So honestly, like, you know, any female DJs, it's not like, respectfully, like, it's not about the, you know, sexism or like, you know, because you're a female, like, you're gonna get more content. None of that bullshit. I don't believe in that. You know, one thing I will say is, like, for my brand, like, I'm really, really picky on, like, open door policy, like, no sexual harassment, like, none of that BS. I don't mess with that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm a father, you know.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like, you know,
you're a father to a girl.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like, you know, like, you know, you will see me, like, you know, as a performer, right? Because realistically, I am a performer, right? Other than the management team. Will you see me giving shots to these girls and blah, blah, blah? Yes, it's about the experience. But, like, do you ever see me going home with any of these females, stuff like that? Hell no. Because it's all about respect. Like, you need to be able to have a good time, but you also need to be able to feel safe.
You gotta feel safe, bro.
That's the biggest thing, especially in this world. Like, not only that, like, you know, like, there's so much, like, you know, videos, reels, and stuff like that. Like, why would you put yourself in that situation?
On our policies for volunteers for our Space Monkey brand or Open Format Social Club, we literally, one of the policies says, like, if you're here to act stupid, we don't want you.
I love that.
Sorry, like, don't be here, you know.
And to be honest, like, you know, like, the only female that I have, you know, as of right now is Monic, right?
Yeah.
You know, she's married. Like, I love her wife. She's really cool. I'm not gonna mention her name for her privacy, but you know, realistically, like, I take care of Monic as, like, if I'm her dad, you know, just because not only is she a female, right, you know, and it has something to do with, like, you know, she's married to a woman and all that stuff. Like, everyone deserves love, you know what I mean? So she's married to, you know, and I say this respectfully, a beautiful wife and everything like that. But like, when I'm with Monik, like I take care of her because at the end of the day, everyone should feel safe. It's We live in the industry where it's like, yes, it's all about, you know, sexually and all that stuff and like provocative and all that good stuff, but you gotta be able to feel safe, and that's what's important to me. But that's why I tell any female DJ that's listening to right now, or artist or producer, like, girl, like, women, like, this is your time to be able
Yep.
to go out and like, honestly, like, and I'm sorry to be biased, but like these girls, like, you get front of the list when it comes to at least big things because this is your time, like in the
Any
world.
list, I think any list. To
Any
be honest.
list is true. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure for you, like, because a lot of the time, like, it goes back to like, centuries, right? Where it's like people will be like, oh, like if this is a man's run world. No, that's bullshit, especially like you said, right? Like, I'm a father to a daughter. I love my daughter. She's 3 years old, and as the world is changing, like, as a father, like, I want to make sure that she has every single right to be whatever the hell she wants, right?
Yeah.
Because it should be equal. But like, there's so many female DJs out there that I've seen, between like, other collectives and Mi Gente Academy and stuff like that, and like they're there, right? But like no one takes them seriously, and I hate that, bro, because they're just as good, if not even better, respectfully, than a lot of these male DJs.
I will say, and I hope this doesn't come off wrong. I I I, I pray it doesn't come off wrong, but um, just you being a female DJ, you still have to put in the work,
You do. No,
and you gotta have that quality.
100%.
And that's why I spoke so highly of Sophie Nam, because you could see it in her mixes, you could see it in her blending, in her beat matching, in her song selection, and I'm sure you feel the same way about Monic, where it's like, hey, like you got to put in the work, not just because you're a female, are you gonna skip the line?
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
yes, because you're a female, it's going to open up doors, it's going to give you opportunities, but you still have to have the talent behind it.
100%. 100%. Because a lot of the times too is like, which bothers me as once again, I think it's more of a father phase. Like, a lot of these females, like, oh well, if she's not cute or she's not exposed in a certain way or wearing a certain thing, we won't book her. Respectfully, like, I've told venues, like, f you, bro, like, like, I'm not gonna put my artist specifically in that aspect. And I'm not talking about Monic, but I've had other opportunities where like there's other DJs that I'm like, hey, like, I want to start them off as a opener, like at this specific venue, and they'll tell me like, oh well, is she gonna wear a dress or a skirt? But they're not that type of individual, and I'm like, nah, bro, like, f you, bro, like we're not trying to.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I understand sex sells, and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, if the artist doesn't want to do that, why are we gonna put them in that situation where they feel uncomfortable?
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
not cool with that. Like, and that's where it comes back to like me. Like, I make that noise where it's like, hey, like, you want a good quality artist, not a DJ, an artist,
No gender.
no gender.
No
Exactly.
gender. Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Especially in the world where we live in, where there's still no such thing, like, it's accepted to be like a female, male, an a cat, like, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Like, we have to adapt to the world.
Yeah.
Like, day and night, without getting religious. Like, I grew up as a male female type of thing, right? But realistically, the world has changed. Like I said, I don't want to get into politics or anything like that, but like, you got to be adaptable in life, just period.
You do you.
Exactly. You do
Be happy.
you.
Be happy.
Exactly. Everyone deserves love.
Yeah.
I get that. And I agree with that as well. And that's it. Be
Yeah.
quiet.
And I'm gonna book you if you have the talent.
Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you? I'm gonna book you if you have the talent. I'm not gonna ask questions. I'm gonna book you if you have the talent. But you gotta have the talent. You gotta bring.
You do.
You gotta come in here with like, hey, like you said, I'm a producer. I have content. I have the tools that are going to get people to listen to me, people to come to my shows. I'm gonna sell tickets. all that politics stuff, I don't care about it. I don't care about any of that.
Exactly.
You got to show me that you're real, though. You got to show me that you're real in the DJ world, which means you got to put in the work to be a good DJ, to beat match, to MC. That's another thing.
Big. It's huge. Huge.
And I'm saying this, and once again, this podcast is all about being real, right?
100%. Yeah.
Real talk with real DJs.
Yep.
If you do not know how to MC, or at least if you're not making you're not taking the steps to be an MC, what are you doing?
100%.
What are you doing? Like you gotta be able to communicate. You gotta be able to talk on the microphone. You gotta be able to talk to people. You gotta hype people up. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just what it is. Like,
and even if you play like a specific like private event through famous agency, like corporate event and stuff like that, but it goes back to like what value are you bringing to the promoter, the venue, etc. And that goes to either in the smallest venue or an Insomniac event. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, let's be real, it's all for profit.
Right.
Yes, talent is important. Yes, following is important. Content is important. But at the end of the day, if you're not gaining incremental value to the venue, the club, the promoter, etc., then they might as well just get a $200 DJ,
right.
from spot. It's not like Spotify. Like, it's crazy, right? Like when we talk about AI and all that stuff, and the world is changing, right? Like, I'm a very tech guy. I came from the wireless industry before all this, and like I love the whole beta, like iOS and stuff like that. And like, you've seen the memes, like where Apple Music now with the new iOS, like it's literally crossfading for you. So like, why do you need a DJ technically?
Right.
But that's where you come back to. It goes back to the experiences, the process, and for me, for my business, right, and all my DJs know this, like, and artists knows, like, hey, like, literally our slogan is like, hey, we create experiences, we don't just press play. Right. And to be honest with you, it goes back to like I've shaken some feathers because some people have took that offensive as far as like these old school like Latin DJs. But I'm like, hey, like, bro, with all due respect, fuck you. Like we're like we're here to change the industry because the industry has changed.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against you, but like if you're not being adaptable to what people want as far as the new generation, that's your fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what's funny, bro? I'm gonna tell you. This is probably gonna it's gonna shock you. The motto for our company before it was Famous DJ Agency, the motto was experience the difference, create your event with us. That was the motto. It was all about experience. It was all about what you said, bro.
As it should be.
And we have kept that like motto, that framework with all of our DJs. We have retreats once a year, at the very least once a year, to talk to our DJs like, hey, what are you doing to create experiences? Like when you're DJing with us, you gotta like, it's gotta be different.
Of course.
It can't be like your Joe Schmo DJ that's just doing it for extra bucks on the weekend. Like, it's got to be more than that. Like, what are you doing to like, be more than that?
Yep.
So it's really funny. I just find it funny that like we kind of have like we share that.
And that's the reason why we've collaborated, right?
Because,
yeah. You accepted, like I said, you're an agency. I'm not. And you have allowed, my DJs to, Cass was with you originally, right? But, you recently opened up with Welcome Arms, and, DJ Irony. Like, DJ Irony, he's a legend, right? The way I look at it is, right, there's two main DJs, in LA when it comes to the Latin side, which is Irony and Santa Rosa, right? Two different radio stations. Yeah. At the end of the day, they're technically competitors.
Right.
We're all friends. Let's just be real. But in the business side, they're competitors, right?
Yeah.
But you have recently, accepted Irony into Famous Agency for those private gigs. Santa Rosa's coming through. And about 90% of my roster is going to you on the agency side because of the fact that I want them to grow and I want them to develop. And it goes back to what I said earlier. Like, I want them to outgrow Big Things Management because I want them to, one day be like, you know what? Like, at the end of the day, like, Sergio made me better. Like, his team, like, currently my team is, like I said, shout out to Wendy, Cass, even though he's an artist, like, he's put in so much work. So shout out to Cass as well. And even though I'm growing my team, like, at the end of the day, these are my day ones right now. And I wouldn't be anywhere, if it wasn't for them. And, shout out to, Wendy's daughter. She does really well and helps out with the events and other individuals as well, including, Wendy's man. He's helped out a lot. But, realistically, it's like, they've put in the effort. They make sure that my artists overall get to that next level to be able to outgrow our brand. Like, like I will be happy when someone tells me, hey, you know what, bro? Like, I love you, bro, but like UTA is offering me, a 5-year gig, like, or a course in agency, or, all these other agencies out there. That's a blessing, because at the end of the day, you outgrew me, and that's my goal. I'm really big on loyalty, and I hope that these individuals will, allow me to be their tour manager, and because that's my goal. But if not, it's cool. No hard feelings. Like, at the end of the day, it goes back to, like, I made someone better. I've just been humble in that because, like I said, like I started my business officially, February of this year. But I've gone to learn from different management individuals and stuff like that, like the little bits and pieces for the past decade, for me to just to go ham.
Well, I mean, I think, like you said, bro, like bigger people than you gave you an opportunity. Why are you not going to extend that same opportunity
100%.
to the people you work with? That always, like, bothers me, right? Like, oh, I'm like, someone bigger than me gave me an opportunity, taught me something, and I'm gonna, like, be greedy?
Makes no sense.
No, like, I'm not gonna be greedy. Like, if you taught me something, and this might this is either good or bad. I'm just gonna share it. Had a couple shots. I'm gonna share it.
And it's a Wednesday.
It's
so,
a Wednesday.
It's
Just saying,
our weekend.
It's our weekend because, like, once it comes Friday, Saturday, we're working, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Brandon Don Dirty
Love that guy.
taught me so much. So every time I have a student, every time I have someone that is asking me for advice, I am passing on the knowledge that Don Dirty taught me as a DJ, as it should be.
Exactly.
As it should be. And you could ask Randy, or you could ask any of my students. Like, bro, like, it's like, pay it forward.
100%.
If you're greedy with that information, you're an asshole, bro. Excuse my language.
It's true,
I
though.
apologize, but you're a piece of crap. Like,
You know what I love about Don Dirty is that, like, when I met him, he was really big on the Latin side, and now he's really, like, on the, like, and excuse if I say the genre wrong, but, like, hard techno is what I see
hard
as
style,
hard style.
yeah.
My bad if I don't know that.
Technically.
Well,
yeah,
technically,
the same
right?
thing is same thing.
But, like, I wanted to make sure that he was one of my headliners for Hazy Calor Fest for the Latin side because, like, once again, his passion right now is the hard style and all that stuff, but it goes back to the basics. He's adaptable, right? So even though that's not his passion right now, like, I asked him for a favor. I'm like, hey, bro, like, this is my first event under Big Things. I want you to play for my event as the Latin side. This fucker went ham. You know what I mean? And that's why I love Don Dirty.
Any set by Don Dirty is a
dude, like, low key, like,
badass set, bro.
I think the first time I actually met him was, I think he was opening for, you know what? He was opening for Ray Burger at the Circle OC.
Oh shoot! Okay.
Most freaking ratchet club, but hey, they get down. And I had the
that's with Wasted.
Yeah, and I had the blessing to meet Don Dirty's father.
Jose.
Yeah, Jose. Like, and it was cool because I'm like, dude, don't get me wrong, I would love to, have my father come, see one of my events. And don't get me wrong, like respectfully, they give me shit for it every day, right? Because like, hey, like you should be at home with your kids and stuff like that. And shout out to my parents because they do help me out with like on Fridays and Saturdays to help me take care of my kids. But like that's dope that like the dad of Don Dirty, like he's out there.
Bro, like that guy supports his son to the T, man.
Respect, man. Respect to that.
Big time, big time. I love seeing that. I love seeing their relationship. I like you said, I wish my dad would, support me in that to that extent.
100%.
Obviously, no hate to my dad. My dad supports me. I'm not saying he doesn't.
Yeah.
But being out there and just I love to see it. I 100% love to see it. But yeah, man, like kind of going back to what I was saying, like I feel like whatever knowledge you gain, you gotta share it with the world, man. Like you have to pay it forward. You have to like, I think one of the things that you said that's really, really important to me, and I live by this, is the people that you are working with, you should always want them to be bigger than you.
100%.
You should always want to create leaders. You should always want to, hey, here's all my knowledge. Go make it better. Go do something better than I'm doing.
It goes back to, at the end of the day, it's like, I do want you to outgrow me. Like, I want you to go to that UTA, that course, and whatever, Insomniac Records, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Because for me, even though I lose you as a client, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you grow, and realistically, we work in a very competitive world where everybody's a DJ, everyone's a producer. But it goes back to the fundamentals, like what makes you different? Like what value do you bring to that venue or promoter, etc., stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you're not sharing those knowledge or like those like nuggets that you've learned over the years, there's no point. You know, like I genuinely love quote unquote competition.
Yeah.
It's like there's people that realistically are intimidated by my management group right now, and like, oh shit, like these people are trying to take over like my night or my weekend or my club and my venue. And respectfully, like I say, like, bro, like, excuse my language, but like, fuck you guys. Like, I'm just trying to bring an experience because you're over there crying, like, oh my God, like, we're not getting people in the door and stuff like that. But like, okay, cool. Like, try me out. Like, there's day and night where, like I said, I'm really big on production, right? And all my artists know that. So like, for me, like, even though like I don't get paid an extra, dime or anything, like I'll go out there and and I will personally be there like an hour before, and whether it's like like cold sparklers or like I bring like my palm trees, is like I love like that house day club vibe. Like I'll bring out my stuff and my team like will come out and decorate, or maybe like I'll bring out like a photo booth, like with stuff like that. Like that costs
House y Calor was like on point with that.
And I appreciate that. But like realistically, there's cost to that, right? Because realistically, like my time is valuable as is to my artists, but I do that because I know that this is me paying forward, because like I got the opportunity to learn so much intel from like these worldwide DJs for the past decade, and I want to give that back because not everyone has the opportunity to go to Vegas every weekend and get to know all that stuff. But realistically, it's like all that value is like, let's bring that back to LA or wherever it is that your home city is at, because like at the end of the day, it goes back to like, hey, are you adaptable? Are you able to read the crowd? Are you going to bring value to the venue or place or promoter that you're working for? And if the answer is yes to all those questions, then you don't have to worry about a booking. You don't have to worry about like, hey, like can I become that next artist? Because I don't believe that any of my people on my roster right now is a DJ. No, like you are an artist specifically because you are going to become a brand.
Yeah.
And that's what I look for, at the end of the day. It's like, like if you're going to approach me or my A&R team or my artist liaison and stuff like that, like bring those resources, because we're willing to give you back those knowledge that we have learned at the end of the day, to make sure that like the goal shouldn't be like, hey, I want to play at EDC Las Vegas, or I want to play Nocturnal or Escape or stuff like that. It's like, no, like I want to be able to be like respectfully, F you to big things. Like now I'm going to UTA or all these other huge agencies, because at that point, like
I did my job.
Exactly.
I did my job.
And at the end of the day, like I could sleep at night. You know, right now I'm very involved in the club scene. Like you know, you will see me, you know, Saturdays and Sundays. Like I'll be with my artists, you know, out there and making sure that not only like you know they're creating that experience and stuff like that, but realistically, me as an owner of a business, right? I don't want to be out there. Like I want to be able to create my team, and I'll tell you day and night. You know, for whoever's watching this, like if you want to learn about the industry and you want to be able to do an internship or you know different processes, like I'm always open to like send me your resume. Like if you want to learn about the business, like I'm down to put you on my team because of the fact that like I want to be able to, for me as an owner, like I want to be in the back end, just like yourself, right? Like you know you own Famous Agency, you got Dawn as your business partner, but you know, do you really want to be out there every single weekend? No,
I can't be.
you can't be,
I can't
right?
be.
Like you know, I have you know, I have 8 artists right now, and like I said, like I have people begging me, like they're bribing me, like, hey brother, like, dude, let me give you $1,000, like just take me on because they know the value of that. But it's like, it's right now, it's not about the money, it's about the passion.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and the thing is that I focus on every single individual right now on my team, because once they get to that point, then we're good, you know, and then they're able to grow me out, and then once they're where I want them to be, then at that point we're able to move on and then create new opportunities. So
Absolutely, man, and that's the beauty of it. Believe it or not, bro, time is up.
dang, that's
That
crazy.
was 2 hours.
Cool.
You guys are actually like 3 minutes over.
Oh, well, I apologize to people that are taking over. Well, I mean, realistically, do we have any more comments or questions that we need to answer before we
Can you
let
check
them
the
go?
comments, bro?
I just want to make sure, like, anybody that's invested in watching the song, you know, like it's I want to
Time
make sure
flies, right, bro?
Dude, it's been 2 hours. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Someone put woo woo. We love DJ Cass.
Love DJ Cass, brother.
Yeah, big
Like,
shout out DJ Cast, honestly. And once again, bro, like I'm not trying to bring this up again, but big shout out Santa Rosa, big shout out Irony. Thank you, thank you for the
100%.
the
He's gonna
collab.
go with you on Saturday for sure.
I'll be there.
100%,
Saturday.
right? Yeah, like I said, like, you know, when it comes to my current roster, like I said, I have people like, you know, we have like DJ Cass, we have Monic, we have DJ Santa Rosa, we have Irony, we have DJ Ecto One. So he's my newest.
Dude, Ecto One,
Dude,
oh
like,
my god.
what you know
bro.
about Ecto One, brother? Like, yeah, like, you know,
Damn.
he was with an agency, you know, and, you know, no disrespect to the agency, but, like, he deserves better. And that's where I'm going to come and play and take care of him because he's a legend. You know, I love Ecto One as I've learned about him. You know, he's currently with Insomniac Radio as well, you know, so that I think there's a big opportunity for him as well. You know, we have DJ M Fresh as well. And you know, others like Also Mighty. Dude, I love Also Mighty. Like, Also Mighty is like killing the game right now as well.
Did he do the photo shoot?
I don't know. I don't know if he did. Like, I told him to come
We
through.
texted him. I don't think he did.
You know what? You know, he's been going back and forth between 2 different cities, so that's probably why. But like I said, Also Mighty. Like I said, I love that guy. He's so hungry, and it goes back to, like, you know, he came in from a different agency, and you know, I respect him as an individual because you know, he was very skeptical of, like, hey, like, who the fuck is Big Things Management? Which I get, you know what I mean, and I understand that, but it goes back to, like, you know, people like Santa Rosa and Irony, like legends, right, in the radio community, like, trusted me to make them better.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about. It's like, if you trust me to make you better, because you guys are already legends, let's just kick it up a little notch.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me happy. It makes me go to sleep at night that I was able to do that.
100%,
So,
bro.
and so I'm very excited. And then I guess for closing statements, like, you know, like I said, if you feel like, you know, you want to, you know, send some stuff to me, like, please, like I said, like, don't get me wrong, like, I have my roster right now, but, like, you know, it goes back to the, you know, who's next on the bench. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's a female, a male, like, as long as you're putting in the work, like, I will invest it back in you, because at the end of the day, I want to make you an artist, not just a DJ. And then with collaborations between Famous and us, and, like, you know, as we work with Insomniac or Ultra or different things like that, like, it goes back to, like, put in the work, then I could vouch for you.
And that's the thing I love about Big Things is like that we share that passion about like DJing and being artists, and it's not like oh, you're a DJ, so you're in the background. No, 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 no.
Nope.
No, you are the artist.
Correct.
You could be the artist, and you got to make big things happen for yourself.
100%.
So I love that, man. I really do, and I think we could do big things together. So you know, I love the name, and you know, it's kind of like a famous DJ agency. You know, we called ourselves famous for a reason. I feel like Big Things is kind of like the same thing. You know, like the same concept.
Yep.
We're gonna do big things together. You know, so
Exactly.
yeah. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, man, and I really appreciate you and. And hopefully we could get the DJs to come on as well, you know?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it because I know that definitely with this podcast, it's usually, you know, an hour mix and then an hour of conversation. So, I mean,
this whole setup was just for you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, you know. And at the end of the day, like, you know, I could go in the mix, but that's not about what I wanted to do. And like I said, I'm honored to be invited to this podcast, you know, especially, you know, for 2 hours, right? Like, I don't feel like it's 2 hours. I feel like it's been like 20 minutes. So
yeah, for real, seriously.
you know, thank you for everyone that had the opportunity to watch this, whether it's live or a replay. And you know, let's make some moves. Like I said, like we're shaking feathers between you know, famous agency and Big Things. Like we're making people feel uncomfortable. So let's join the ride and like we'll go from there. You know,
let's keep it going.
Cool.
For sure, man. Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna give a big shout out to our sponsors one more time. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna go ahead. Actually, I know this is not a sponsorship, but I'm just gonna thank them anyways. Gotta give a big thank you to Neft Vodka. I gotta tell you right now, man. Enrique
and Dylan, yes, I love those guys.
Enrique and Dylan, if you're still watching, delicious, freaking delicious, just amazing vodka. So thank you so much. All right. So up next, we're gonna go ahead and say a big thank you to Orbit Event Rentals. That's orbiteventrentals.com. If you are looking for table covers, table linens, tables, chairs, canopies, anything to do with your event that you need rentals for, hit up orbiteventrentals.com. They will take care of you. Let them know that you heard about them right here on the Real Talk with Real DJs podcast, and let them know I sent you. Thank you so much. Up next, I gotta say thank you to Montlake Construction. That is montlakeconstruction.com. If you're looking for a kitchen remodel, bathroom remodel, a home renovation, a room renovation, whatever it is that you want for your home to make it look beautiful, please hit up montlakeconstruction.com. They will take care of you. The thing I love about Montlake Construction is that they take care of you to the T. They are perfectionists at their craft, so please hit them up, montlakeconstruction.com. Up next, I gotta say thank you. This is our new sponsor. I gotta say thank you to Freedom Roofing Company. That's freedomroofingcompany.com. If you are in need of a roof, where, hey, you need a roof repair, you need a whole re-roof, whatever it is for your commercial building, for your residential building, whatever it is, they will take care of you. That's freedomroofingcompany.com. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say a big thank you to the Empress LA. That's theempressla.com. They are an aesthetics company where they will take care of you if you need hair restoration, if you need laser hair removal, tattoo removal, if you just want to bring your inner beauty, you want to bring it out, you want to enhance it a little bit, they'll take care of you at theempressla.com. Thank you all so much for joining in. Thank you so much, Big Surgz. Catch you all next week.
All right, have a good night, guys. Thank you so much.